How tech math
Because
would
the
work.
because
Oh,
the
he's 50
percentage will
percent.
be
Yeah.
okay. The percentage will be a little confusing, like the point zero,
That's
the
why I was
number.
like, I don't even know how to see
That
these numbers are way too big for me. I don't want to
Yeah, the
embarrass myself.
percentage is so easy. It's so
Okay.
easy. Try
Because
to
I'm like,
get yourself this and you'll
yeah, I
see.
think I'm gonna do that. That is
Yeah.
smart. Because I'm gonna need that because we're gonna get on.
Yeah. Y-
And then with regular math, I'm so used to rounding up, but he was like, no, like every cent counts. And I'm like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yes. I saw that 1 cent. I saw it.
I was off like 2 cents. I'm like, is he
Yes.
serious?
It is so true. I saw it.
But he's on money. Every
Yes.
cent round
Every
to
penny
the penny.
counts. Every penny counts.
Does
Trust.
when the bank is concerned, it all has to balance.
Yes.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. Good
Good
morning. How are
morning.
you?
I'm doing well,
I'll
thank
tell
you.
you, I was in the banking industry for the longest time,
Oh,
and
we'll
oh
see.
my God, a person will come after you a penny
What?
for a penny. Yes, it
Oh,
is no joke. And
okay.
that penny really counts, trust me.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to like practice moving
Yes.
forward is really like pretty much knowing how to say the numbers instead of embarrassing myself
As
because these
as
numbers are
Warren was
big and
saying,
I'm just not used to these big numbers.
as Warren was saying yesterday, a person gets older and you get wiser. And
Yeah.
I never thought about it. I'm like, it's a damn penny. What can a penny do? You would see a penny on the floor and you'd be like, I'm
Yeah,
not picking it up.
I don't
Uh-uh.
even, yeah.
Oh no, trust me, honey. I pick up that penny.
You
That
do?
penny, yes, that penny will do you a lot in life.
And that
Trust
penny
me.
might be worth a whole lot more than a penny as
You're
well.
Yes,
right. You're right.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it might be worth a whole lot, you know.
yes.
As
So
Benjamin
true.
Franklin used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned. And
Yes.
but yeah, you'd be surprised. Over the years, you're still
Learning.
young, but
Hmm.
when you get to a certain age, you look back and you figure all those loose change that I've had over the
Yes.
days, those bicentennial quarters back in 1976, what they're worth now and so forth.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
every single coin, if you go on
Counts.
eBay right now, go on eBay right now and look what one quarter could be worth. And I'm talking about a 2024 quarter, a
Yes.
2025, a 2020 quarter. All
Wow.
right. Yeah. All right. And so understand that they're selling these quarters for maybe 65 cents to several dollars. Right.
Yes.
And so before I go to the coin machine and change all that coin, I got a process that I go through to see if those coins are worth more.
Yes.
Everything I do. You want to hear something? One day my doctor said to me, years later, when I was a kid, I used to have landscaping business. And so years later, I got older and I was like, I don't want to do that no more. But the doctor said, you're out of shape. You need to go to the gym. You need to start working out. I said, what? I ain't paying to go work out. I started the landscaping business back up again and I got back into shape. I said, I want to make money. If I got to work out, I'm going to make money. I'm not paying money to work out.
Workout. Yes.
So everything I
Yes.
do, everything revolves around my ability to think of different ways than the average person, of doing things. And I'm always thinking about how to make a buck, always
Yes.
dollar. And those pennies, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, this is the second time this person called. Let me make sure. Good morning. I can't find the link. Okay,
I
hold on.
wonder if that's Sunday. I'm texting Sunday right now.
This is Wadia. Can you send me the link?
Who is
I
it?
can't, Wadia. I can't find the link for the to log in.
Ladia?
Wadia.
Wadia, I'm sorry, Wadia. Let me send it to you, and because that students are in the class. So, did you check your spam?
Yes.
All
And,
right.
and I always get your emails. I got the other emails that you said that you changed your email. I got those, but I
And was
can't
you in
find
my
them.
class yesterday?
Yes.
Then you would have the link for today as well. It's in the same email.
That's probably why. Okay.
It's in the same email. So if you were in my class yesterday, then use that email that I gave you, and that has
Okay.
today's class. Thursday,
forward,
Wednesday,
but
and Thursday.
I'm sensitive too.
All right.
Thank you.
If you're not in the class in a couple minutes, I'll send it again, but I believe you do have it.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right. So, okay, very good. Yes, what day was in my class? I can't remember these things because I have so many classes, so many students, and so many things that I do. I sometimes.
Oh, I give you props, Warren. I don't know how you do it. I took that last night class today. I am drained. I do not know how I got up. I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
My brain is exercised. Like it exercised my brain yesterday. I was like, whoa.
I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do this. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm dying. My husband goes, get up before you fall back asleep. He's like, get up, get up. I'm like, I'm up, I'm up. I'm like, I'm drained today.
I'm the same way. There has been 1 or 2 times where I had missed the clock and my students were waiting. It was 45 minutes to an hour and they're still waiting for me. And I overslept. I had that happen once or twice. Or we take a break and I sit down for 5 seconds and I nod off and then I come back and I'm late for class because I nodded off.
Oh my God. Yes, it is hard. It is
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. So I've had those situations where, oh my God. And then I'll spring up. It's a day that I don't even have class. And I
Yeah.
spring up and my wife has to stop me because she knows that I'm freaking out. What time is it? You know, wait,
Yeah.
love, there's no class today. I'm like, what? You know, I'm all
Yeah,
dysregulated,
yes. Oh my God. It happened to me too. On a Monday or a Friday, I would wake up and I'm like, oh my God, my class. And then my husband would be like, no,
Yeah.
you don't have it. Or sometimes he'll be like the night
Or
before, he'd
work.
be like, it would be like a Thursday night. And he'd be like, you have class tomorrow? I'm like, you best not wake me up. I do not have class. Do not touch me.
Yeah. You're just so busy. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
To do. Oh, I think Sunday that was in our class. I don't think that she's able to get on. She's texting
Sunday?
me now. Yeah.
Because again, if she was in my class yesterday, it would be the same email.
She
said
was in class yesterday. Yeah.
She
She was
said
in class yesterday, right?
she said too. That's fine.
Tell her to look at the same email and
The
it's
same
on
email.
it's right on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
The one for today.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so
Okay,
I sent
let me-
you
I
the
just wanna
Wednesday
go-
and the Thursday link. How did you get
Okay.
in my class, Akila?
Yeah, I was in your class yesterday. Let me
But
see.
how do you get in my class today?
Well, you
She was
just
in it
sent
last
me-
night.
I know, but my question is, how are you here right now? How did you get in my class right now?
Because you sent me an email for Zoom
Right.
this morning at like 8:56 though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have had the link for today. That had the links for the videos from yesterday. But there was no link in that email. So
Let me
the
try to
question
send it.
remains, how are you in my class right now? So
No, the Zoom, the
Nobody
morning
reads,
real estate
Warren.
class.
You know
is
what?
Nobody.
I don't
They don't
know.
read.
I'm happy I'm here. I'm just happy I'm here. I don't know.
It was at 9:03. I got another one because
All right.
me and Akila were on, and
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
figure
Akila,
out
I'm
how
like,
to get
wait.
you more. Let me tell you.
because I'm
Figure it out.
surprised that I don't have more students because this would have been the class that I'm sure everybody would want
wanna-
to come to. And again, this goes
Now,
back
this
to me
is-
saying that people don't read my emails or they don't complete everything and they skim. But yeah, so I had the morning and the evening class for Wednesday and the morning and the evening class for Thursday all in the same email. So I wouldn't have to double my work, you know.
Right.
Do it
No, I
twice.
sent her to Zoom. Let's see if she can get on.
Yeah, so we'll give it another minute or so because it's a very important meeting and I would hate for so many not to be in. And let me just check and make sure I'm not getting any text messages because I got a new email. I don't even know if that is working or not. That bothers me so much, but okay, so here we go, my friend. That was yesterday. If it wasn't for bad luck, this cat would have no luck at all. It's a shame for him. All right, but all right. And so, all right. All right. Okay, so nothing else for today. No text messages for anybody. So interesting. Well, there we go. Hello.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, it won't let me in. It said I can't register for the class for the day when I used the yesterday link.
Okay, so you're using yesterday's link. That's why it won't let you in. Use today's link. So you would have Thursday morning class. Then you're looking at my email in your spam, aren't you?
No, I'm in the regular. Oh wait, am I? No, I'm in my inbox.
Then you would have it. I don't understand why you don't have it. It's in the same email. You would have Wednesday and Thursday in
It
that.
shows me just Wednesday link, and then it has a whole bunch of emails that you sent it to, and then that was it.
Right. So I send it to everybody. It doesn't make any sense. Hold on, Waldea. I'll send it to you in a text, but I'm telling you, it's in the email. Somehow or another, you're not seeing it, but it should have Wednesday and Thursday's links in that email. I spent a lot of time putting it together, and now I have to.
Send also Sunday the link. I just sent her the link in. I'm trying to see which.
Okay. So, okay. Give me a minute. Well,
Okay.
I'll text it to you in a second.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what I did, Warren, I just went onto the email you sent, and I just copied the Zoom and just paste it and send it to Sunday. So hopefully she can get in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is all the different emails that I have. I still get yours. So, and I got like 3 emails, which I don't want. But
Okay. And then this, because I had to do all this yesterday because there's new email. Let me see something here. Boom, 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 and then boom, and then boom, and this is what I.
oh, it's not showing her the second link anymore. She said, I don't know.
Okay. And then let me do this, and let me do this, and then and let me do this, screen, boom, and let me show you what I've done. This is what I done. So for each and every one of my students, I sent them a personal email. So it wasn't even a group email. It was personal for everybody. And then I gave them the morning link for Wednesday and Thursday, and then the evening link for Wednesday and for Thursday. And so I did that one by one for each student so that you even got your scores that I gave you.
I got that.
And that's what I
And
joined.
then how to like upload it and stuff from Pearson.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
I got-
one before with your transcripts.
I
Okay.
think I got it. I think I got it.
Thursday morning class Thursday. Let's do this. Let's copy this. Boom, boom, boom. And then let's go to and let's do that. Let's stop sharing the screen so I don't have to share any private information. And let's go here. WYD. Yeah, boom. And let's put this in a text. And I spent a lot of time putting the emails together one by one for each one of my students. And yeah, to hear that you don't have my email, a little disheartening.
What?
Do. All right, so there you have it, Thursday, May 15th at 9 a.m. There's your link. There's your passcode. There you have it. And no good deed. All right, very good. So close that out. We're good there. And good there. And that's all I can do. It's a shame that so many are not here. But again, what can I do? They're not looking at the email, reading the email, seeing the email. What can I do? All right, so there's a nice email too. But anyway, all right, so it's not the first time. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to understand. You're entering a world where you are about to help people, help them with their problems. You're now going to be a real estate agent, a counselor, a Florence Nightingale. And I don't like to get gender specific, but I do, because if you are female, if you are a mother, then you are already accustomed to what you are going to be entering into. You already know how to handle things for the very first time. You know how to nurture and protect and advise as a mother. And so you will have an advantage. Those who haven't done something like this before will find it overbearing at first to help somebody else out with their problems. And so that's the world that you're going to be entering into, a world where you're helping somebody else out and you're going to make a lot of money doing it. But will it come naturally for you, or will it be a process that you develop over time? So I always like to say that if you're already a mother, you have an advantage. Now, I won't say that for a father, because the father really isn't supposed to be the nurturing one. They're supposed to be the disciplinary one. They're the ones that are supposed to, lay down the law and always run the mom because dad is, stricter. That's the way it's supposed to be. So a mother has more of a nurturing ability to help others, a Florence Nightingale. So if you are already a mother, then you have an advantage in this career that you're choosing. Otherwise, it's going to be a process of learning how to help others, because that's exactly what we're going to do. If you know the magic words, how can I help you? You're going to make a lot of money in this business. What a lot of students do when they become real estate agents is they think that they have to do flyers and cards and marketing and social media and wait for clients to come their way through their marketing. But I told you once, and I'll tell you again, that your mouth is your business. And everybody you talk to is going to be a potential client. And everybody that you talk to and they hear you teaching them little lessons about this, helping them with their credit report, helping them understand finances, helping them to understand going from an apartment to buying a house. Each time you give just a tidbit of information, you make that person a little bit stronger to trust you and want to come to you. So you're constantly developing business relationships through communication. And so we get used to texting and emailing, but I would not advise that, because as you can see, sometimes people don't read the email or the text. You have to understand these things, all right? People are always skimming, but it doesn't register. Oh, yeah, I got your text. I was going to get back to you. Oh, yeah, I got your email. I was going to get back to you. So you better learn that Zoom and the phone in your communication is going to be your best source of income. And if you have that ability to talk to people, your mouth is your business, you're going to make a lot of money without any effort, because you weren't trying to make any money. You were just simply talking to people, educating them, informing them of what you know, sharing your knowledge. And when you do this, things come your way, ladies and gentlemen. I said one of the things that a lot of people do and fail in business is because they're trying to make money. So if you get into business to try to make money, you will never be happy. You will never find success. It will always be a recipe for failure, because you'll never make enough. If money is the only thing that you desire, then it's never enough. You wanted 5,000, you got it. But now it's not enough. Now you need 10. Then you need 20. Then you need 40. Then it's never enough. You just can't find your happiness in this, okay? So the money is a byproduct of what we do. Helping people is the journey, and the rewards come from those efforts. So if you remember, that's not a poster, it's not a flyer, it's not a business card, it's not social media. It is your ability to communicate with people. That is where all of your business will come from, your sphere of influence, and then some. Because like that commercial, for the hair commercial, one person told another, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then before you know it, word gets out, because people start sharing the conversations they had with you. Well, Malia told me this, and Malia said this. She said that, we could do it this way, and now it just starts to travel. So the first thing I want you to understand is, once you pass that state exam, the first thing that'll go through your head is, what do I do now? That is usually what happens. I want you to remember, you're the best real estate agent that you're ever going to be right now. Once you actually become a real estate agent, all of that starts to get boggled, and now you're like, what do I do now? Okay? So just remember, communicate, talk. This class, both my morning and evening class, has this gift. You guys communicate, you talk with each other, you have that gift. Continue to use that gift for the rest of your days. and great things will come your way. All right. Now, I gave the text, and she's still not in my class, so let me just see something here. Make sure that the link's working. Right, let's do this. Let's click onto the link for Thursday morning and make sure that we don't have a broken link. Let's see. Right, morning real estate class for Thursday. All right, it's working. The link is working. So I would have thought that I would have more students in this class than the math class. All right, there we go. So that's working. Let's shrink that down. Got here. There we go. Very good. What day is in their class? All right. Here we go. And I can only hope that most of the students will be in the evening class tonight because it's a valuable class. Okay. So you're about to become a licensed real estate agent. You're about to run your business. Remember, you don't work. You're not going to be an employee anymore. You're going to be an independent contractor. You're going to be running your own business. And if you never ran a business before, it might be a little process to learn how to run a business. So I want you to always remember that you're not running a business. You're just sharing your knowledge. You're already doing it. How many of you are already teaching others the things that you've already learned in this class? And you're already sharing some of the information that you learned in this class with somebody else already, even though you can't articulate it 100%, but you got the cliff notes that you are trying to share with them.
Tell my mom so that
Yeah.
I can just make sure I have it in my head. So I kind of just, she sit there and listen to me.
See, so you already have this natural process.
Yeah.
I want you to remember that your mouth is your business. Always remember it's never going to be a flyer. It's never going to be your social media. Don't blame that. Don't say, well, I'm not getting any. And don't spend a lot of money on this. That's what I'm going to teach you today. Don't waste your time buying leads and going after leads. No, everything should be natural. Everything should come as a nice flow and just do what you naturally do. Communicate, talk to people, share a little bit of knowledge. I do webinars, and the webinars are very good for me. I haven't even done a webinar yet this year because I still have so many clients from the webinars that I ran last year that I'm still working with. So you'll get a bundle of clients. And that's another thing. Having one client at a time is one. What if you get 20 clients at the same time? All right. And so this is what you have to understand how to manage your business. So since you're going to be in business yourself, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that you understand how to run a business, which is going to be the most important. Some of my students are already very successful in the businesses that they run, and others are just starting out. So it's good for everybody here. Okay, so let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to share with you the very first thing that I need you to understand. And this is going to be absolutely, if you're already in business and you're not doing this, you should be doing it. If you're just starting out, this is what you should be doing. All right. So I'm going to give it to you right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ba ba boom, ba ba boom. All right. And let's do this. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the first things that I want you to understand is Google. I'm sure you know Google, right? Google. How many of you found me through a Google search? Hmm?
I did.
Okay. All right. And so chances are you did a Google search. And then what did I get from you when you finally decided to reach out? I got your name, I got your telephone number, and I got your email address, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that's the database. That is the most valuable asset that you're going to be able to create. And now for all my businesses, for the ones that I'm allowed to, because Google is selective, I will have what's called Google My Business. It used to be Google My Business. They changed the name to Google Business Profile Manager. But this has always been a beta. Since the beginning, it's been beta. And this means it's free because Google wants you to use these programs so that they can gather data, as much data as they can gather. So they're allowing you to use this free of charge. And I would absolutely jump on it while you still can. So let's just take one of my, as you can see, I got my Center City, I got my Pittsburgh, I got my newest location in King of Prussia. And so let's just take my Center City location. Then what you're going to get when you get a Google My Business, and I still call it Google My Business GMB because that's what it was before they changed its name, but you would still be able to find it. I'm going to give you all the links anyway. But if you just Google GMB, it would come up. Now, as you can see, we don't get a website. We used to get a website, but now what we get is we get a control panel in the search engine. Nobody else could see this except for you, the business owner. So you have access to your control panel in that search. Everybody else gets to see the search, but they don't get to see this control panel that you have with Google My Business. Now, notice that we have here certain things. I can edit my profile, the photos, update. This is an easy one. I like to use this one down here. Notice that these are my ads. All right. These are all free of charge, ladies and gentlemen. So if we go on to these ads, we will be able to see that over the time, I was able to place all these ads. These are Google ads, by the way, free of charge. Do you know how expensive Google ads are, ladies and gentlemen? And to be able to do this free of charge for your new business or your existing business is phenomenal. It's astronomical. If you're not using Google My Business right now because the world is on Google, they're going to find you through a Google search, then you're missing out. You should be doing this. All right. So this is one of the first things I do. And when you learn how to do this, let's just say that I want to do an update, but let's do this. Let me just copy. Look at this. I'm going to copy this, copy. All right. Just because I'm doing a cheat right now with you, I would probably do a little bit better, but okay, here's how we do it. See this? I just pasted that in there, just like that. I'll do an image. Let's just do this image right here that you guys are all familiar with. All right, put that image in there. And then I always like a phone call. I always want to speak with somebody. Notice that my image picture didn't show up. It's probably because the size is not working, which I'm surprised it should. But let's try it again. Let's see. If that picture doesn't show up, then it's not the right size. So let's do this. Let's go to school marketing. And then let's just do this. Let's throw this one in. Boom. All right. There we go. Now, see how easy this was for me to create an ad? I also want to make sure that my ad is fixed, saved. Now the whole picture will be in there. And then here it is. Boom. I'm going to post it. How long did it take me to create a new Google ad? All right.
Second.
A couple minutes, seconds. Right. Now, this will be updated once Google makes sure that there's no violations in that ad. It will now show up. Let me see if I can refresh and see if it shows up already. And there it is already. All right. And so now my ad is already in the Google atmosphere. And so when people search for a real estate school, a school near me, online real estate school, doesn't matter. Look, here I am, ladies and gentlemen. I'm at the top of the search engine. You see that? And I don't pay for SEO. I don't pay for that. This Google My Business not only will allow you to do free advertisement, but it'll get you at the top of the search engine. Who knows Aquila Cleary? Who knows Malia Star? They don't know that you're in business yet. If they was to Google your name right now, would they find you?
No.
No. No. And a lot of people will spend a lot of money on SEO, search engine optimization, to try to get their name at the top of the search engine. You don't have to do it. So in order to get your name at the top of the search engine and free advertising from Google, my very first recommendation is GMB, Google My Business. And if you don't have it, you're missing out. If you already got a business and you're not using GMB, Google My Business, I don't understand why. It's only because you probably didn't know about it. But now that I'm telling you about it, it's very important. But here's the other thing. You see these reviews, ladies and gentlemen? I got 72 reviews with this school. If I go back to my other schools, let's see what I have. And see, this is important that you understand this. So let's go right here. Let's go back here and let's go to one of my other schools. Let's go to the Pittsburgh school. How many reviews do I have there? 38. I just started that school. Let's go back to one of my bigger locations. And let's go to, you know what? This one.
I have a question, Warren. So you were
Sure.
saying that how you have different schools in different states.
Yes.
So with the schools in the different states, is it like zip code based? So if you had one in Pittsburgh, you would just be geared to people in Pittsburgh, and it's just like
Yes.
by the zip code based.
Yes.
Oh,
Very,
okay,
very
okay,
important. That was a great question
okay.
because that is 100% correct. So as you can see, 108 reviews there. So with my different location, this one here was my Grant Avenue location.
Mhm.
But this is important that you understand. So a very good question that you just asked. And let me show you something here. And so here is what so I got so many locations, my Pittsburgh location. And I don't have schools in different states. I have schools in Pennsylvania, in
Pennsylvania.
different areas. So
Yes.
Pittsburgh,
The same.
Harrisburg, Philadelphia, soon Erie, and soon Scranton. Those will be there. And again, the reason for this is because of Google advertising. So here's my school, and Google will advertise to a radius, and it's local advertising. And I learned this in the beginning that even though I'm here in Pittsburgh right now on 4th Avenue, I will get a radius of advertisement from Google to circle right about this. You know, it's like a 3-4 mile radius because they want to bring clients into your business. So any further than 3 miles, then the chances are they won't come to your establishment. So Google does local advertising, and they do a great job of local advertising. But I realized that if I had a school in Philadelphia, how was students in Pittsburgh going to know about me? Because here's my Center City location, and that means within the 3 mile radius of my Center City location, they're advertising, free advertisement to bring traffic into my storefront business because this is what it was originally created for, local advertising. So I had realized that I'm going to need an address in Pittsburgh. I'm going to need an address in Erie. I'm going to need an address in Harrisburg and Philadelphia in order to capitalize off of Google advertisement because it's local advertisement and it's free. So I learned this as I was going along. And here's the second thing that I need you to know, or probably the third thing at this stage of the game, is reviews, ladies and gentlemen. See how you can have these reviews on your Google. You see these reviews right here I told you about? Listen to me, because I'm about to teach you something that you didn't know that you need to know. Extremely important. How many of you read my reviews before you made a decision to come to my class? Okay.
I did. I always read reviews now.
Don't you? All right.
Yeah.
See how important that those reviews are?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
But here's what you don't know. The reviews that you leave, not the ones that you receive, are much, much more important to you. Probably didn't know this, but I'm going to teach it to you right now. So if you click onto my Google reviews, you will see lots of reviews. All right. that I have from different students and so forth. But you see this? You see that little star? That's called a badge. And this is what you're looking for as a person who leaves reviews, this little badge. All right. And I'll just show you. See, here's another one. See that badge? All right. That star there. All right. And so what you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, see this, to see the star? This was one of my students, of course, and she understood what I was teaching this particular day, that she wanted this badge. Here's what you don't know. Check this out. Google rewards you, ladies and gentlemen, not for receiving the review, but for leaving a review. And here's your point system with Google. If you did not know this, it's very important that you do, especially now that you're going to be running a business. Here's the rating. Here's how they give you certain ratings for your review. You get 10 points for leaving a review. If that's more than 200 characters, which is not a lot, it's like 5 sentences, not a lot, then they'll give you another 10 points. Then if you do it a star rating, 5-star, 4-star, 3 stars, 1 point for that. Then if you do a photo, 3 points per photo. All right. 7 points for a video. If you answer a question, that's a point. And here's what you need to understand. You're looking to get these badges here. That's what you're trying to do. So your first goal is to try to get to 250 points, not by receiving a review, but by leaving a review. This is very, very important. So you ever go to the post office and they say leave a review? You ever go to Rite Aid, they say leave a review, but you never do. You never leave a review. Well, now you understand how important it is for you to leave a review, because Google credits you. Google gives you an algorithm. And if you want to get to the top of the search engine, start leaving reviews. Because when you get this first star, Google will give you a credit by putting you into the top of the search engine. Let's take a look at this. Let's look at Angela. So if I take Angela Crespo, let's take her name. I'm going to copy her name. And let's just do a search engine. And I usually do instead of Google, I do Start Page, because you ever do a search and let's say you're looking for a couch, and then after you do the search, you get all this advertisement for couches following you around. I hate that. So I don't like to do Google or Yahoo or Bing. So I do Start Page, but it doesn't matter. A search engine's a search engine. All right. Now, if I do this, look at this. She's at the top of the search engine. These sponsors are paid. So I always go below the sponsored, the paid. And look, she's at the very top of the search engine in her name. And why? Google scraped. Google found her LaSalle University profile. All right. Google found her LinkedIn. All right. And so as a reward for leaving reviews, Google will help you in your search engine. Put your name. So Malia Sitar. Just because Malia was leaving a lot of reviews, Google rewarded her by giving her top of the search engine, because she was leaving reviews, and she left enough reviews that she got a badge. And getting that badge, ladies and gentlemen, is very important, because if you want to start your real estate business or you want to run any business, people don't know you exist yet until they know that you exist. And if they were to Google you right now, would they find your name? But if you start leaving reviews everywhere you go, you will start being in that search engine. People will be able to find your name simply by leaving reviews. And so again, you're always looking for this badge, ladies and gentlemen. And if you can find this badge, and let's review this, let's renew this. There you go. See this? Anytime you see this, you know that this person has left a certain amount of reviews. See this graph right here? And once again, what we're trying to do is get that first badge. And that first badge, here's your point system. That first badge is 250 points. You can get that probably within a week or two. No problem. You can get that first badge. So now when you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you leave a review. You go to the bank, leave a review. You go to post office, leave a review. They give you the link. They give you a little SKU. Leave a review. Because you're not leaving the review for them. You're leaving the review for you. It's very important that you understand this. So I'm going to ask for a review. Give me a review. I showed you, school. I feel that I've earned it, but my last class, both morning and evening, nobody wanted to leave me a review. That's okay. That's the way it goes. But you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that even though I taught the students to leave the review to better themselves, they still didn't do it. You can see that I got 100 reviews, 78 reviews, 30 reviews. It doesn't matter. I got enough reviews. I'm okay. I don't need the reviews. This is not for me. This is for you. That you need to understand that Google will give you free advertisement. Google will give you the reviews. Google will give you search engine optimization. All this is free of charge. You know how much you would have paid for Google Ads, SEO, and you wouldn't even have known that all you had to do was leave reviews. Get a Google My Business. So the very first thing that I'm giving you today, ladies and gentlemen, is GMB, Google My Business. Start your own Google My Business. It's free of charge. Is that a good price? All right. Now,
could I do that for like a t-shirt? Because I started like a an online t-shirt business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, here's the one thing that you have to be careful about. I would still want you to use a land address, even though you're online.
Okay.
Because Google wants to do local marketing for you.
Would it be my address or like
It could be
remember?
mom's address. It
Okay.
could be, your address. It could be mom's address. Maybe you don't want. Remember I taught you about these artificial addresses, which
Yeah.
we'll talk about today again.
Yeah.
All right. And so that is what I had to do. I used these virtual addresses.
Okay.
I understood that Google does local advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting all types of clients, all kinds of clients from my Grant Avenue. But I was realizing that I wasn't getting any students from Harrisburg or Pittsburgh or anywhere else in the state. I was just getting local traffic. And then it took me a while to realize that Google does local advertising free of charge for you within a 3-mile radius. So if I wanted to reach students in Pittsburgh, I had to have an address. And that's where the virtual addresses came about. Because they will send a postcard to that address to verify that the address is a legitimate address. And then once you get the postcard, you have to go back to Google and give them the number on the postcard to verify that you did receive the postcard. Right? That's how they verify that the address is true, but they won't send it to a P.O. box or a mailbox.
Okay.
That's why you had to have the virtual address. So give mom's address or give somebody's address. But again, if you're looking for privacy, keep that in mind as well. You might not want that address out there in the stratosphere. So go ahead, Tasha.
Are you going to give us the website to apply for the virtual addresses as well?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's all going to be in today's link for the business class. So, and I'm going to give you links for leaving a review as well. Now, again, as I said, it's nice that you're leaving me a review, and I always love to hear what my students have to say. But remember, the review's really not for me, the review's for you. Here's the second thing I need you to understand. You are profiled today, ladies and gentlemen, by reviews. Malie might have an understanding of this. You know how when we're doing a job application, HR will probably look at your social media, call your previous employers to get reference and so forth. We don't really do that too much today. You know what we do? We profile by your reviews. We do a big thing of profiling people by reviews. So we noticed that Akila just leaves sweet reviews all the time, never has anything bad to say about anybody in her reviews. She would make a great customer service representative. She would make a good salesperson. And so I can profile her by her reviews. But Tasha, on the other hand, is not so nice. If she's upset, she'll let you know about it in her review. The food was not so good, the service was not so good. Now, profiling Tasha, she would make a good investigator. She would make a good auditor. So notice that by your reviews, whether it's good or bad, we can profile you and figure out your strengths and your weaknesses if you're good for this job or you're not good for this job simply by your reviews, ladies and gentlemen, because the reviews really talk about who you really are. And social media changes in years. 1 year you might have this attitude at times, and what you said 10 years ago in a social media should not reflect on you now, but it would be a bad barometer to use. Reviews. Good business people use reviews when they interview. So check this out. You're now becoming a real estate agent and you talk trash about the school. This was the worst school I ever went to. The instructors were terrible. I didn't learn nothing. Don't waste your money on this school. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think as a broker that I would hire you as a real estate agent when you just said in your review that you didn't learn anything? You hurt yourself when you were being spiteful or truthful, but understood that when you were talking about something that was going to benefit you, like a school or a job, and you said that this was the worst job, this was the worst school, this will reflect on you. It will be used against you because your reviews are very important for you to understand that we use your reviews to profile you today. All right. And so if you're telling me that you didn't learn nothing in the school that you went to, well, then do you think I'm going to be hiring you? See, it's important that you understand that the profiling is being done by your reviews as well. It's very important that you start understanding reviews. Very important, especially knowing that Google is going to reward you. Tasha, do you have another question or did I just not put your hand down?
I had a question.
Go
Unless
ahead.
they have, so with the reviews, can I create my own? Like, can I just make a fake page and act like I was a customer and just put a good review for myself, just until I get like customers?
Yes, but you're missing my point.
Okay.
You don't need the reviews for your business. You need to leave the reviews in your name. Akila
So
Cleary.
I could do that. I could leave a review. Like I
That
can review myself, but it'll, you know what I mean? Okay.
and that will speak volumes. So because you're going to be running your real estate business out of your name.
Okay.
Your name is your business. So when you leave reviews, you want to leave the reviews in your name. But if you leave those reviews in a stage name like the Trash Can Man, who the hell's the Trash Can Man?
Mm.
Right? Does anybody know? So you're doing all this work for a fictitious name, the Trash Can Man.
Hmm.
And I guess somehow or another you thought that was genius, but all that effort is going to waste because now all those reviews that Google is giving you, it goes for the Trash Can Man. So if I'm Warren Nelson and you search Warren Nelson, you won't find anything because I was using the Trash Can Man.
Hmm.
But if you search the Trash Can Man's got a nice little review. He's on the top of the search engine.
Hmm.
So you need to understand that you need to leave the reviews in your name because you're building your name for the real estate business. All right. Now you go get reviews later for your t-shirt business.
Hmm.
But in order to get your name for your real estate business at the top of the search engine, start leaving reviews today. Start leaving reviews today, tomorrow, the next day. Leave as many reviews as you can in your name. And I'm going to show you how to use artificial intelligence to do these reviews as well. Because we always get a mental block. I always hear the student says, yeah, I'm going to leave a review, but then they sit down and nothing comes to their brain. They'll, it was a great class. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Or to just do 5 stars. All right. Again, that's fine, but you understand the point system now. You understand why you're leaving a review. It's not so much to talk good or bad about the person that you're leaving the review. It's for you to get you to the top of the search engine by leaving the reviews. So it's very important you understand this. Start leaving reviews. Get your first badge. Get those 250 points. And once you get that first badge, the first thing that Google does is give you top of search engine. That's the first thing. Wait till you see what happens when you start getting those other badges. I'm not even going to go into that. But Google is very appreciative of you using their database, their beta testing, and use it every day. That's what Google wants you to do. They're giving it to you free of charge. Use it. If you're not using it, they get a little upset about that. Okay? So, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, start with your Google My Business. All right? That'd be the first thing I recommend. Start leaving reviews and get yourself at the top of the search engine through your name. Get your first badge, ladies and gentlemen. I'll send all this to you. You'll have it all in an email. Now, what Latasha just asked, ladies and gentlemen, is the virtual office. Once again, all these links that you see, I'm going to give these to you. You'll have a nice email at the end of the class with all these links, okay? So you don't have to worry about copying anything or I'm going to give it all to you. But now notice that these are virtual offices, ladies and gentlemen. They're always running some kind of an ad, all right? So I would like that. $0 for the virtual office setup. That's a nice savings right there. But look what an office would cost me. Would I want to do $1,800 a month, or would I want to do $89 a month? All right. So nobody knows if I'm in this building or not. But having a virtual address, not a P.O. box or a mailbox, is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. And look how cheap these things are. $65 a month for a Ben Salem location. All right, so I would always recommend, and I use Alliance. I think they're probably the best in there, but it doesn't matter where you are. So let's just say I'm in Scranton, PA. All right, it'll come up here, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and it will give me all the available buildings. There's only one in Scranton available for use. Okay, that's the way it goes. But let's do Philadelphia. Let's see if it comes up. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And look, we got 15 different buildings that we can use as a virtual office. Market Street, 2 Plaza, Bala Cynwyd. That's a nice location to be using on your business card. All right. Radnor, $75 a month. Look at this. Marlton, New Jersey, $49 a month if you want a New Jersey location. Plymouth Meeting. Here we are, Market Street. All right. This is virtual addresses, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are going to have a business and you want privacy, you don't want to give your home address or something like that, then I would recommend that you use a virtual address, especially if you want to start an LLC or you need to be licensed by the state for the business that you're running. You need a brick and mortar building, not a P.O. box. And this will work out fine. So again, Pittsburgh. I learned this, ladies and gentlemen, because I wasn't getting any. Ooh, okay, so here's the building that I use in Pittsburgh. Let's click onto it. So you get to see this when you click onto it. So here's the building. All right, it's a law firm. Let's go to the next picture. All right, the hallway. There's an office. This is where some of my agents work out of when they're studying. We use this kind of like the conference room. This is the classroom that we use when we're there. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't never been in this building. I never stepped foot a day in this building. All right, But because we have these pictures and everything, you can use this for your advertising, for your marketing. All right. So these are virtual addresses. Yes, I'm going to give this link to you, but I want you to understand that Google is local advertising, so you would need an address if you want to attract traffic. Since I am a state class, I need the students from Pittsburgh all the way to Philadelphia. So that means I need certain virtual addresses, and now I can do it when it's only $55 a month for my Pittsburgh address. All right, easy enough to do. All right, so I'll give this to you when we go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's do what you might understand how to do when you become a real estate agent. You want to do some flyers, you want to do some marketing, all right? But you don't know what to do. You think maybe I'll go to Canva. Maybe I'll think of something. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all the templates that you will ever need. And I can keep scrolling and I can keep scrolling and I can keep scrolling. All the templates that you ever need are right here, ladies and gentlemen. And these templates that we have right here, let's open up one here, you can make changes to it. All right. You can now edit the design. All right. You can take out the picture and put in your picture. You can put in your address or your name. All right. Warren Nelson. Boom. See how you can do that and stretch it out and make these things work for you. All right. So you can move these things around as well. Move this around, background, all this. Change the picture, put in another picture, change the, all this. Is copy and paste. All you got to do is put in whatever you want. Put in your own, change the price, do whatever you want. All these, ladies and gentlemen, are available to you for your use. But here's the beautiful part about this. This, look over here. All right. Marketing. We can do anything that we want. Here, you know what I want? I want Facebook. Facebook. I want to do a Facebook ad. Look, and let's do this. Facebook, and I want to do real estate. Facebook, real estate. So I want, boom, I want to see Facebook ads relating to real estate. And so now, look at this. I could do Facebook ads. I could do Instagram ads. I can do, and it'll give me the exact size that we need for those particular social media sites. All right. So here we are. This is going to be a Facebook. See how it's a virtual picture. See how it's moving, because you can use this on your social media. So now the pictures are motion. And once again, all you have to do is click onto it and make the changes. So Akila's going to replace that with her picture. She's going to replace the name with her name. All right. She's going to change the picture to another picture that she has, and the picture will automatically become motion. It'll automatically kind of stretch and take care of this for you. You don't have to actually do a video.
I might have missed it, Warren. What website was this? Are you still in the Google?
No.
Okay.
And so that's why I said I'll send all these to
Oh,
you.
okay. No problem.
So, yeah, you'll get all these. Don't worry about it. And so you can play around with it after class. But because I'm limited with my time, I want to give these to you as we are going along. So what this will do, ladies and gentlemen, this is called poster, my wall, or whatever. Anything and everything that you need. You can't think of a template. You can't think of something. Not a problem. Let's say that you are in the church business, gospel. Boom. All right. Not a problem. Not a problem. Let's say you're in the lawn care business. All right. Lawn care. Not a problem. Not a problem. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of templates. So if you tell me you can't think of something to do with a flyer when all you had to do was copy and paste, then there's something wrong. And guess what this cost? Zero. All right. So far, how much has it cost us to run a real estate business so far? $55 for a virtual office, maybe so far. Google Ads free, Google search engine free, the reviews free. Now you're getting badges by leaving the review. Now you got all these posters, anything that you want to do, all free of charge. So let's just say that I want to do a poster. All right, boom. It will give me the size of the poster, and the poster I want with real estate. All right, boom, real estate. All right. Or let's do this. I want poster first time home buyers. Anything and everything that you can think of, whatever your business is. Look at this. Oh, we got Oprah here. All right. All right. Again, all you got to do is click onto it, and everything is manageable. You can move things around, boom, 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 guest speakers, so forth. So, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a smorgasbord. All right. Let's say I want to do TikTok. Boom. It is going to give you the right size, the right measurement for each social media. All right. And let's just say I don't want to do an advertisement. I need to start the page, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So I need a cover photo. This will give you the right dimensions for those social media sites so that everything is there. And then, of course, I want it with real estate, right? Boom. So anything and everything that you can think of. So Facebook cover for real estate, there it is. If you cannot use these, ladies and gentlemen, to create your own marketing, then I don't know what to tell you. Because, again, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, this will give you thousands upon thousands of templates to use. So if I just do flyer, right? Just want to do a flyer, all right? Real estate. That's all I got to do. I can spend another hour scrolling down and still won't reach the bottom of this endless supply of templates that you have. Everybody get this? You got a smorgasbord of templates that you can use for your social media, for your flyers, for your business cards, everything. It's all in here. Business cards, real estate. Boom. All right. And so all of these templates, see the business cards, everything that you need, ladies and gentlemen, it's in this one website. You can create your business cards. You can do everything that you want, all by copying and pasting. So this site I'm going to give you. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say that you are doing a flyer. You created a beautiful flyer, flyer for first time home buyers. All right. Now, let's just say that you did this. All right. And you decided to create a flyer. Let's go with something very generic. And you put in all your information and you love it. But now, how do you get the flyer out in the mail to where you want to go? How do you print up the flyer? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to Roger. Roger's been my printer for as long as I can remember. Ladies and gentlemen, you ever go to Staples to get copies? Do you know what copies cost you at Staples? All right. How would you like to pay 7 cents? Beautiful, beautiful work, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not one side, that's 2 sides for 7 cents. Click onto this. All right. And for 7 cents a copy, ladies and gentlemen, go to Staples to see what it costs you for one copy, color copy. All right. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? For 140 flyers, how many flyers do you need? Because you probably don't know this, but you need 1,200 flyers for the whole year. For the whole year. And so here's the 1,000 flyers, single-sided. It'll cost you $75 for 1,000 flyers. I told you need 1,200. So let's make it $90. And now you got your flyers for the whole year. 100 flyers a month. Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But chances are you don't know how to market. You don't know how to use flyers. And most real estate agents don't. They spend a lot of money getting no results. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So go to Roger, and Roger will print up your whole year flyers. And it'll cost you less than $100. And for the whole year, you get all the flyers that you need if you do it right. Try to get this cheaper anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. And his work is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So that means all of this that you did over here, this flyer that you just created over here, now Roger can take that for you and print it all up for you and give you a nice little material to put in the door, to mail out, should you decide. I personally like direct mail. It's one of my favorite. It's because I'm old school. That's what I had. That's what I started with. Really didn't have social media when I started my day. We had newspapers and we had flyers and stuff like that. So I'm a little old school. But as I said, I've been with Roger for a long time. And if you can get, here you go, you got 2,000 of them, but you don't need that many. You need 1,200 flyers. I'll teach you how to do your flyers in a second. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, $100, less than $100, you got all the flyers that you need. You created your flyer, and now you have them all printed up. Less than $100 so far. We good? But let me ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen. If your market, remember we talked about demographics, you're going after first-time buyers. Where are your first-time buyers? If you want to do direct mail, you want to do flyers directly to those first-time buyers, where are they? Where's your market?
Could it be in a
I
web?
would,
It's okay.
Supermarket? I don't know. Supermarket?
Okay. Now, see, your brain's got to start thinking here because
college
you're spending
campus,
money to advertise. Go ahead, Wadia.
college campus.
College campus, supermarkets. All right. Anybody else? Where's those first-time buyers? Where's your market? Do you want to be passing out these flyers in houses where people already own their houses? Will they be first-time buyers?
No.
Apartment buildings.
Ah, who said apartments?
I did. What do you?
Right. That is 100% correct.
Okay.
That is your market. But how do we get our flyer into the apartment building? It's usually secured. It's not like the kid passing out flyers is going to be allowed to go into the apartment building. And we're not even sure if their kid's going to throw them in the trash down the sewer. How do we know that the kid actually passed out the 100 flyers?
Can you put them on their car?
You could, but
Mail it to them.
I wouldn't, because people get upset about it, you know? I don't like it when people...
Their mailbox?
You're not allowed to use the mailbox. It's federal property, remember?
Could I hang it up in the door? And no, I can't hang it on the door either.
But if you can't get into the apartment complex because it's...
If you talk to their management office?
No way, because you're competition. They want renters, and you want to take their renters and turn them into buyers.
Oh, yeah.
Knock on their door and...
Nope. See? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to something that I wish was around all my days, but it hasn't. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? See this?
What?
The every door delivery by the Postal Service. And guess what? For 22 cents per flyer. Remember, we're passing out 100 flyers a month. So that's $22 a month to pass out 100 flyers for you. Check this out. One second.
How do you get the word out to the people near your business who matter most? Do it with Every Door Direct Mail. It features an online mapping tool for finding potential customers near your business. To use the mapping tool, enter a starting point. Then select nearby postal routes where you want your mail pieces delivered. You can see demographic data based on census reports, like age range and average household size
Very
and income,
important.
and choose among available routes. When you're finished planning your mailing, you can schedule it for delivery. Each mail piece costs less than the price of a stamp to send. Creating your mailing is easy too. You can do it yourself or find a list of printers or mail service providers on USPS.com. When your mail pieces are ready, bring them to the post office and we'll deliver to every address along the routes you selected. Reach potential customers simply and cost effectively. Every door direct mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, I swear,
Wow,
I wish they had this all my days.
that's awesome.
Isn't it? Isn't it? And so now, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to understand is that for 22 cents, you're passing out 100 flyers a month. It'll cost you $22 a month. Keep your expense down. And not only are they going into the mailbox, because only the federal government is allowed to use the mailbox, but you're now getting into those secured apartment buildings. And not only that, you're getting notification. They skew it. You know that your flyer has just been delivered. You don't know that with the kid, do you? That's passing out the flyer. But now you're getting notification that your mail has been dropped off. Get it on your computer, get it on your phone, and you could use this for your marketing as well. Hey, by any chance you get the flyer, because you already know they did, and then you go into your little conversation if you like. But notice this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to notice this here. Check this out. I want you to know how to use this every door delivery. I gotta get all this stuff out of my way. Let's go back here. Well,
To the people near your business who
now,
matter most.
check this out.
Do it with every door direct mail.
So as you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say that in this situation, Waldia has an apartment complex and it's located right about here, right down here.
It features an online mapping tool.
See, so the apartment complex or two that she wants her flyers to go in is right here along Briggs, 2nd and Briggs. Okay, we see this. So there's apartment complex or 2 or 3 there that she wants to deliver her flyers to.
For finding potential customers near your business. To use the mapping tool, enter a starting point.
Now, again, that would be the address of the apartment complex that Waldia is interested in. That would be her starting point right there. Notice these demographics. Does she want her flyers to go into a business? No. So she would do the drop down and say no business. She only wants her flyers going into residential, but she can also do age bracket. The Postal Service, nobody has more information on you than the Postal Service, ladies and gentlemen. It is the biggest government agency. So whenever you're trying to get detailed information about somebody, we usually, those in the know, we go into the Postal Service. The Postal Service has everything that we need. And that's why they can do this demographics. They know how many children you have. They know what kind of income you're making. The Postal Service has everything and anything about you. You might not know it, but it is one of the biggest agencies that we use compared to FBI or anything like that.
Then select nearby postal route.
So now Waldia knows that her apartments are in this mail carrier's route. Green is one mail carrier, blue is another mail carrier. And she now knows that she wants to be on this mail carrier's route to pass out the flyers in her apartment complex. Okay?
Where you want your mail pieces delivered. You can see demographic data based on census reports, like age.
All right. If she's first time buyers, is she going to be going for 55, 65-year-olds? She's probably going to be in that 21 to maybe 40. That way there, when they're in the apartment complex, they're passing out the flyers, not to everyone, but to the ones that in your demographics.
Really? That's
Yes.
wow.
Yes. You cannot afford to be wasting your money on marketing. You need to make sure that you are target marketing the right audience. I told you how important demographics are.
Wow.
So, yes. And so the Postal Service allows you to target market your advertising to go into the right apartment complex. So if one apartment is a 65-year-old woman and the other one is a 30-year-old woman, one apartment's going to get your flyer, the other one's not, because you set the demographics. All right? Very important.
Range, an average household size and income, and choose among available routes. When you're finished planning your mailing,
Now, your 100 flyers, you simply take to the post office. What day do you want your flyers to be in the mailbox? What day do you want to do a Facebook ad, or what time? What time do you want to do a TikTok ad? What time do you want to do a Instagram ad? You better understand this, ladies and gentlemen. So what time would I do a Facebook ad compared to what time I would do a TikTok ad? Two different worlds. All right. The Facebook ad is going to be around 7 p.m., but the TikTok ad is going to be around 11 a.m. Why is that? What day do I want that flyer in the door? What day do I want them to see my flyer, ladies and gentlemen? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What day?
Maybe on Saturday?
Saturday, not good, because it's
Okay.
weekend. Everybody's done work. They want to go out. They want to party. They want to go to the golf course. They want to go to, their friends. No, it's a day rack. No, they're not looking at their mail on a Saturday. It's a day.
Wednesday?
Beginning of the week.
Wednesday, maybe, because it's hump day and people are like a little bit glad that the Monday and Tuesday's over. They're, in that middle period, but they're still now maybe thinking about the weekend. Wednesday's okay. I would give it a 5 out of 10, but it's not the bullseye day.
How about Tuesday? Because I know Monday people are tired. So Tuesday?
Nah, Tuesday's terrible. Monday, Tuesday, people are still kind of grumpy. Everybody hates Monday.
Thursday.
Thursday is the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Okay.
Now you're going to start noticing your own biological clock. Notice how you feel on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because I told you in my class that Wednesday's the lethargic day. Tuesday, we're okay. It's first day. Wednesday, we're kind of drained. And Thursday, we seem to have the best spirit about us in the Thursday class.
Okay.
You don't notice this, do you?
Nope.
Thursday's the day. Most people on a Monday or Tuesday will trash your flyer. Goes right in the trash. Monday or Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Now Wednesday, they'll look at it, throw it maybe on the table and get back to it. Friday, they ain't even looking at it. They didn't even see your flyer. Just put it away. They'll get to it later. They'll get to it Sunday or Monday. So Friday and Saturday, not a good day because people just stockpile their mail. I don't even look at it. I'm planning on the weekend. All right. Thursday would be the one day out of the week that somebody will actually look at your flyer, register it. And you want to know this. You want to pass out the same flyer month after month after month. The same flyer says the same thing, your picture on it, over and over again, month after month after month. This is the secret. And only 100 flyers. Because a lot of real estate agents, ladies and gentlemen, will pass out 5,000 flyers. And then they say, I tried it. It didn't work. I didn't get one single call. No, you won't. Because you don't understand marketing. Genius. You wasted all this money on 5,000 flyers. And what did you expect? Did you expect 10% ratio? A 5% ratio? Is that what you expected? You were wrong. You didn't get nothing, did you, for 5,000 flyers? I did it twice. I passed out 5 flyers 1 month and 5 flyers another month, like 3 or 4 months later, and I didn't get nothing. This doesn't work. It won't work. Not for you, because you don't understand marketing, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you a quick lesson here. It's very important. We call it farming in the real estate business. We call it farming, and there's a reason for that. When you plant a seed into the soil, does it become a magic beanstalk the next day? Beautiful plant the next day? No, it doesn't, does it? So you put a seed in the soil, you water it, you take care of it, and a week, 14 days go by, and then finally, maybe on the 14th day, you start noticing something breaking through the soil. All right. And then maybe a week later, you got your first little inkling of a leaf. And then maybe a month later, it grows and you have 7 leaves. It's a nice little plant. And then another month later, it's growing into a nice, beautiful plant. And you keep nurturing it until it becomes a nice tree. But it didn't happen overnight, did it? It took 2 weeks before it even broke the soil. And then it took another month before we had our 5th and 6th leaf on it. But what happens if you don't water that plant for 1 month?
It starts to dry up.
It'll
It's done.
die.
It's dead.
Oh,
It's
it's dead.
dead.
It probably will. If you don't eat for a week, you probably will suffer. You won't die, but you will suffer. But I said a month. If you don't eat for a month, do you think you'll die if you don't have the nutrients?
Yeah.
You can go 4 days without eating. That's fine, but in a month you probably will die without the nutrients or suffer. Do you think if the plant dies, all I have to do is add water to it and it'll come back to life?
No.
No.
You gotta put some food in there to
Dead is dead. Nah, dead is dead.
It's gone.
Oh,
It's not coming back.
Yeah, it's not coming back. This analogy that I just gave you, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact same thing with your flyer. The first month you pass out that flyer, don't expect anything, just like the plant. Didn't break the soil yet. The second month that you pass out the flyer, don't expect anything. We're just starting to break the soil. This is what happens in people's head, in their brain. You're planting a seed in their brain. The third month, maybe you'll get your first phone call. Hey, I haven't seen your flyer. I'd like to get some more information. The 4th month, the 5th month, now you're starting to get calls. And if you do this 100 flyers a month, you will own those 100. So I started out in Juniata, and I was looking for listings. And I would just advertise to the same 100 homes month after month. And when I started getting calls, when people started inviting me to their house, I would see my flyers lined up on the table. They would stockpile them, especially older generations. And when people would pass away, their children would call me because there were all my flyers stacked onto the table because they would stockpile these things. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. We don't immediately do something. But because I've been seeing Malia's flyer, I've seen her face every month. She's been sending me the same flyer. If you have no money in your bank account, no money in your checking account, and you want to be a homeowner, contact me. I'll make it happen for you. Month after month after month, I see this same flyer. Don't you think I got Malia in my head? I got her picture of her brain in my brain. I got what she's been saying in my brain because she passed out the same flyer month after month after month because you know about the seed now, farming. You know the first 2 or 3 months that you pass out a flyer, don't expect anything. That's the magic. And then the 4th month, the 5th month, the 6th month. But if you miss 1 month of passing out that flyer, the same 100, you miss 1 month, it's the same thing as the plant dying. The seed in their brain died, and you got to start all over again. And this is why it's very important you understand that you got to stay within your budget. Can you do 5,000 flyers every month for the next 12 months? See? But that person who did that did not understand farming. They did not understand how the brain works, how a seed works, and they should have known that the first month, 2 or 3, they shouldn't be getting any calls anyway. But they didn't know this. They expected magic. They expected a magic beanstalk that didn't happen. And now they believe that doesn't work, only because they did not understand it. So Wadia is going after 100 potential buyers, first-time buyers, and every month they see Wadia's face, same picture. Every month they read the same thing. Now, understand this, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to do certain things in your marketing, like use your income tax return. because that won't be allowed to use that all year round. That's good for January, February, and March. But then what are you going to do in July and August and September when it says use your income tax return? You don't want to use days and times. 28th of Thursday, the 28th. You don't want to do that either. So you want your flyer to be just enough that you can use it for the whole year. It doesn't have specific dates or times or reference to like income tax return, because now you can't use that for the whole year. And so, and you want to have your flyer not be real estatey. All right, with all this new vocabulary and everything. Get your FHA mortgage with low down payment and seller assist. People don't understand that. That's not their language, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to speak their language. One of the best flyers that I use, and I still use to this day, is a flyer that they can relate to. If you always dreamed of buying a house, always wanted to get out of that apartment, but your credit is not good, you don't have a lot of money in your checking account, and the only thing you're pulling out of your pocket right now is Pocket Link, but you always wanted to buy a property, you call me, Warren Nelson, and I'll not only show you how to buy the property, I'll show you where the money is that you're sitting on to buy the property. You don't think this flyer gets me a lot of pull, ladies and
I
gentlemen?
like that. I'm gonna have to use that a little bit.
See what's happening? Because
like that.
their language.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't mention anything about mortgages or interest rates or anything like that. I just simply said, if you ever dreamt of becoming a homeowner and get out of the apartment, but you got some credit issues, you got money issues, don't let that hold you back, call me. That's a language they understand. That's a flyer that I can use all year long. And don't you think that that's going to be sitting in their brain? This cat's been telling me over and over, they keep seeing this flyer every month. Says if I got no money in my bank account and I got bad credit, that he can get me a property. You don't think somewhere along the line in the next 12 months that cat's going to call me? The curiosity is just killing them. They got to know. What are you talking about? This is the magic of knowing how to do marketing. 100 flyers a month, 1,200 flyers for the whole year. Stay within your budget. You can do $22 a month for use direct mail. All right. You already paid $100 for the flyers for the whole year. You got your flyers for the whole year, $100. And now $22 a month for the postal service to deliver it for you in the right properties. This is within your budget, isn't it? And now you know how to do marketing. Don't be buying 5,000, 10,000 flyers and throwing them out there and thinking, blah, something's going to happen, because you didn't understand the seed, the farm. You didn't understand how it works. But now everybody knows Wadea. At least those 100 people do. Wadea owns those 100 people. Malia owns those 100. Aquila owns those 100 people that have been getting their flyer month after month after month. And then guess what happens when they finally see you? You're Wadea. You're Aquila. You're Malia. Hello, God. You know, my God. You're like a star. You're like an Oprah Winfrey. All right. You know, because they've been seeing you month after month after month, and now they finally lay eyes on you. You know, it's like, hey, how are you? You know, they're starstruck because now they finally see you in person. This is the magic. Knowing how to do the marketing correctly. 100 flyers a month, ladies and gentlemen. 1,200 flyers a year. That's what you need. You will be much more successful than any real estate agent passing out thousands and thousands and thousands of flyers. All right. And now that the Postal Service is delivering your flyer, you know you're getting your bang for your buck. You know it's going in the door because you get a SKU. You get tracking. You know that it already went in the door. It's the perfect way of doing business. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. And now you know that you can schedule your flyer to be delivered on a Thursday. That's the beautiful thing about this, because when you take your flyers to the Postal Service, you can pick the day you want that property.
Delivery.
See, you can schedule your delivery with the Postal Service. You want a Thursday. Always want a Thursday that your flyer is going into that property. That is the best day that people are going to actually notice the flyer. Okay.
Each mail piece costs less than the price of a stamp to send.
How much is a stamp today, ladies and gentlemen? Does anybody know? Anybody?
I have no idea. I don't
I
know
think
when's
it's
the
like
last time was I bought
just mail
stamps.
something. I think it's like 65 or 75 cents or something like that.
So 22 cents compared to a 75-cent stamp.
Yeah.
See that? It'll cost you 22 cents
Hmm.
compared to putting a stamp on it. Right?
So I have a question real quick, Warren. So
Go ahead.
with the door-to-door delivery, so you setting everything up online and you have your demographics. So once you actually do it, are you printing out your flyers and then going to the post office?
Yes, you could do that, but notice what it also says.
Easy too. You can do it yourself or find a list of printers or mail service providers.
Because my boy Roger, who is going to do the flyers for you, ladies and gentlemen, will also do the mailing for you. He'll go to the post office. He'll
Okay.
take your flyers and do the mailing for you because you just heard that you can find a printer or do it yourself. So you can either have the flyers delivered to you and then you take them to the postal service,
Uh-huh.
drop them off, or you can have a printer.
I have a printer.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
a home printer, like a color printer. I don't know.
That's fine. Then that
Okay.
means you would be going to the postal service yourself. But also understand this, ladies and gentlemen, those flyers have to be a certain size and in a certain dimension here. So let's do this.
USPS.com. When your mail pieces are ready, bring them to the post office and we'll deliver to every address along the routes you selected. Reach potential customers simply and cost effectively. Every door direct.
You see this right here, ladies and gentlemen?
Read that-
Stop. And let's do this right here. Hold on. So now, what you have to understand, if you got a full page like this, full page, fold it in half. That is the size that the postal service will deliver. So take the full page and fold it in half. No postcard or mailing has to be bigger than this, half a page. So you want to make sure that your flyer is, you can fold it. So if you got a full page flyer, then you'll need to fold it and then deliver it to the post office already set up where it's already folded. Okay. Or you have your flyer that's just this postcard size, giant postcard size. So the postal service will only deliver a certain size. You don't put it in an envelope. So as you can see, that's your flyer. So it could be paper. Akila just did 100 flyers on a machine and folded them
Mm-hmm.
and takes them to the postal service because this has to be the size. They have to be able to reach in the bag, pull it out this size, nothing larger than a half page.
And the address will already be in the system so that they can know who to give it to.
The postal service will deliver to every house on their route that matches your demographics. And notice that Wadia is going after first-time buyers. You know what the postal service wants to do, the mail carrier? They want to get rid of these flyers as soon as they can. And chances are, in an apartment complex where they can deliver 40, 50, 100 of them all at one shot, just by opening up mailboxes, that's what they would prefer, rather than to every single door. But again, if that's what you want, that's what you get. You're paying for it. But if the mail carrier had their route, they would like to loosen the load first thing in the morning and get most of these flyers out of the way, especially at apartment complexes. So Wadia would be welcomed by the postal mail carrier who's delivering the flyers to every house. So you don't need to put a name on the flyer or an address on the flyer. You don't really need to do that. The mail carrier is going to deliver your flyer to every house on their route if you choose every house. And they usually have somewhere in the area of about 220 houses a day that they deliver to, somewhere in that area. Do you want to deliver to all 220 houses or properties on their route? No, you don't want the commercial, and you only are looking for first-time buyers. So why do you want your flyers in the houses? You only want it in the apartment complexes. So it's very important that you understand that you can use the postal service for 22 cents to deliver the flyer on the day that you want it, get a SKU knowing that it's been delivered. And if you're somebody like me, I follow up with a telemarketing. Hey, Malia, I was calling. I'm Warren Ellis. I was just wondering, by any chance, did you get the flyer that I dropped off? Because I know you did, because I already got the postal service telling me that it was delivered. So I could follow up on that with telemarketing if I wanted to. All right. So things that you want to keep in mind. So now, ladies and gentlemen, 10:44. All right. So we're doing great timing. So now, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, I have given you Google My Business. I have given you templates to do flyers. I have given you my printer. You now know to do 100 flyers a month. You can have all your flyers for the whole year delivered, $22 a month. And you'll get your 100 flyers delivered. It really doesn't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, artificial intelligence, right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not using artificial intelligence, you're a little backdated, but it's extremely important that you understand. Now, there's a lot of different artificial intelligence out there, ladies and gentlemen, but one of the originals was ChatGPT. And I love ChatGPT. And I'm telling you, I use ChatGPT because, as you can see, here's all my.
I like it too.
I love
That's
ChatGPT.
what helped me through your class. It gives me a lot of examples. So it was kind of easier for me to relate. Yes.
But if you're not using ChatGPT, ladies and gentlemen, it is my assistant, my confidant, somebody that I get to talk to. All right. Because it has a higher intelligence, it understands, and it will, we know each other. Watch this. I call it Wise One. All right. Hello, Wise One. All right. And so, greetings, my friend. How may I assist you today? So, getting off to a nice start. And let's do this. I say, I want to leave a review for my real estate school. The school is online real estate school. Now, most people forget the ink, but that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Now, check this out. I want this review to make me sound like I was a top student. I want this review to make me look good for future employers. I want this review to sound professional and place me in the best light possible. This is called a prompt. And what you're doing is you're prompting this artificial intelligence to do what you want it to do per your direction. So let's see what it does. All right. Certainly, here's a polished professional review that highlights your dedication, performance, and quality of the school, positioning you as a standout student for any future employer who may come across it. Here is your review. Student review. Enrolling in online real estate school was one of the best professional decisions I've made. The curriculum was thoughtful, structured, the instruction was exceptionally clear, and the support provided throughout the program far exceeded my expectation. You got a mental block, huh? You can't think of what to write here, all right? As a committed and high-performing student, I took full advantage of the school's resources including live stream classes, interactive discussions, and worldwide case studies. I consistently performed at the top of my class, not only mastering the material, but also actively engaging with instructors and peers to deepen my understanding of Pennsylvania real estate law, ethics, and practice. Don't you think a broker is going to like hearing this about you? All right. This program not only prepared me thoroughly for the state license exam, which I passed with confidence. All right, maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but that's okay. We can make changes to it. But it also equipped me with practical knowledge and professional values that I will carry into my career. It emphasizes on integrity, client care, business fundamentals. Okay, so you get it, right? Let's do this. Let's make this sound more down to earth. That's all. There's my prompt. Let's make it sound more down to earth. So now we're going to change it. I had a great experience with online real estate school. From the very first class, I knew I was in the right place. The material was well organized. The live stream lessons kept me engaged. The real world examples really helped connect the dots. I took my studies seriously and consistently aimed to be the top of my class. I showed up prepared, asked questions, stayed committed. Next paragraph, what really stood out was the school's focus, the values. Next paragraph, if you're serious about getting into real estate school, that brings out the best. I definitely recommend this. See, you don't have to do any thinking, ladies and gentlemen, with artificial intelligence. You know what you want it to say, you just don't know how to say it. So all you got to do is tell it what to do. How about this? Make a social media post that talks to first time home buyers and let them know that I can provide more information. Now, I didn't put my name on my brokerage or anything like that. Let's just see what it does. Okay. So now we're doing a post for your social media. Certainly, here's a warm, approachable social media post. Thinking about buying your first home? You're not alone. You're not expected to figure it out on your own. Buying a home is a big step, especially for first timers. From credit questions to down payment, inspection to closing, there's a lot to consider. The good news, you don't have to guess your way through it. I'm here to help make the process easier to understand and, more importantly, tailor to your goals. See how this does this for you, ladies and gentlemen? Now, let's do this. Turn this into a text. Certainly. All right. Hi, just wanted to reach out in case you were thinking about buying your first home. I know the process feels overwhelming at first, but I'm here to help make things clear. Have any questions or want more information how it works? Feel free to ask. There's a text that you understand how to use artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you look over here, ladies and gentlemen, you will see that I have a slew of artificial intelligence that I work with here. So as you can see right here, here's my AI, and these are all the artificial intelligence sites that I work with. You just happen to be looking at this one right now, ChatGPT, the original. But let's do this. Check this out. It might take a second or so, but make a flyer for this. Now, what it will do, ladies and gentlemen, is it takes a second, but it'll give you a flyer that we can put together, but it will also give you pictures. You can create pictures as far as things go. So let me give you an example here. Let's go with here. Let's go there. So, you know what? Let's do this one. I want to do, Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. You know what? No, let's do this. Here we go. Let's go to the library. Look at some of the pictures that artificial intelligence created. You've already saw some of these that I already used in my Google advertising. But where did I get them? GPT. ChatGPT created them. You see this one? I gave this to you in your email. That was created for me through this artificial intelligence. This is my new school that you guys don't know. And then I dabble in silver and gold as well. But in any event, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to understand is ChatGPT is artificial intelligence. And if you can't think of what to say in your post, in your review, in your email, in your text, you go to ChatGPT and it will put all the words together for you. Let me just do one more thing, ladies and gentlemen. Make a love letter to my wife. Boom. Okay. Now, okay. Little love letter to my wife. There are moments when words feel too small. Hold the depth of what I feel. You're in my heart constant. And being loved by you. Blah, blah, blah. See how we got this? All right. Can't get mushy. All right. But check this out. Turn this into a rap. Now watch this. So now it will literally break that little love letter into a nice little rap for you, right? Yo, yo, from the moment we met, girl, I knew it was free, so, and so you can do whatever you want in your artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. All you have to do is learn how to give it a prompt and tell it what you want it to do. And it will do that. Turn it into a country song. Boom. How can you not take a love letter and turn it into a country song? That's easy enough for it to do, right? But again, let's see what it does. So boom, there it is. So we got a verse, we got chorus, verse, chorus, and so forth, as we can see. I still remember the first time we met. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, notice that we got verse, chorus, verse. It will do all this for you. If you want to create whatever you want to create, go to ChatGPT. I will give you these links. When you do your review, I recommend that you use ChatGPT if you got a mental block. Any questions or comments about this? If you're not using artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, you are kind of missing out on it.
I use it for my I started it with my online t-shirt store.
Yeah.
Certain little prompts and how I want to you go inside a store, their mission and stuff. So I kind of use that GPT to help me with that. So yeah, I love it.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a break now, ladies and gentlemen. And then when we come back, I'll give you some other links that are going to be very interesting for your business. But we're off to a very good start, especially knowing how to use Google, knowing how to do your marketing using the postal service. This will advance your business, your present or your future business, in leaps and bounds. And what did we spend so far? $200, $100 on the flyer, and $22 a month for the mailing. And you don't have to have a virtual address right now, so we don't need that right now. So we spent less than $200, and we're good for the whole year or first year. We're set up first year. We got all the flyers we need. We know how to get it into the property. Less than $200 so far. And we're getting free Google ads, the Google reviews. We're going to get a badge. It's putting us at the top of the search engine. So you want to leave reviews in your name, not a stage name. And this is no better. If you had any idea how much money I spent on websites, on SEO, search engine optimization, marketing, all the mistakes I made, the money that I spent making these mistakes, I'm giving you a guideline on how to do it right and how to do it on a dime. Wait till you see what I give you after the break. So enjoy your break, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see everybody at about 11:30, and then I'll give you some of these other links that I think you're going to find very interesting for your business as well.
Warren, last night my daughter was on. She actually did the first part of the math. And tell me how she was on point. She did it before any of us. I just could not believe it. And I'm like, how did you do that? And then remember when we did the credit to the seller or the debit to the seller or
That's the
vice
only one I
versa?
understand. I don't know why.
I even in the morning, I was still kind of confused and I was wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me how she did it. And then I looked at her and I'm like, even I didn't get it in the morning. She said, Mommy, you're getting old. I'm like, gee, thanks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that one was not challenging. Like,
And she loved the way you said calculator. She was like, oh my God, the way he said it. He said it so nicely. And I'm like, oh my God, look at you. Oh, she's something else, I swear.
She's welcome to my class anytime she wants. So that's
She
great.
said it. She was like, as soon as I'm of age, I'm going on his class. I'm like, okay, you do that.
That is great. That is
oh,
great. Thank her for the compliment.
I will.
Yes.
She was like, oh, now I see, Mommy, why you're so eager to go on to class. She's like, this is why you're enjoying it. She's like, he's so specific on stuff too. And she picked it up really quick. She's like, he's so thorough with how he's teaching. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
he is.
I'm like, that's the only way I learned.
That's the only way I learned as well. Yeah.
I
Yes.
appreciate it. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's a blessing. It's a gift that I didn't know I even had these skills
Yeah.
until, somewhere along the line. You know how many times I turned down this position to be an instructor, to be a teacher? Because
Wow.
I figured, hey, okay, I'm making money. I ain't got time to be teaching others, I'm making money.
Yeah.
And so I had turned it down many, many times. But one day, a friend needed a backup because he couldn't be in class and he didn't want to lose his job. And so he asked me to do him a favor and fill in for him so that he could keep his job. And so I said, okay. So reluctantly, I did it. And got the bug ever since.
Look where it got you. Yeah.
Exactly. And so,
Yeah.
and just like I said earlier today, your job would be helping others, and the rewards come from helping others. And
Yeah.
so that one day that I helped out a friend led me to this. Did I ever believe that I would be an instructor teaching math, teaching real estate, and teaching so many contract law?
I know I wouldn't be able to do it because at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, you have patience because I would
Yeah,
lose
my
it.
patience is short. And I don't like to repeat myself.
Yeah.
Yep. And so the only time that my patience gets thin is when, as I said yesterday, if my students are quitting very easily. I
Yeah.
don't like it when you're making it real easy to quit on yourself.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
defeats
Well,
the
I always tell my daughter too, I'm like, never give up, never give up.
Yeah.
And it's funny because on our way home from school yesterday, she loves to play with me, like, the I Spy game. And she says to me, she says, well, Mommy, you taught me not to give up. Why are you giving up? I'm like, okay, now you got me. And then we'll
See?
go back at each other.
How old
And
is
so,
she?
yeah,
How
she
old is
actually just turned 12 on April 17th. So
Yes.
Her
Yes.
birthday is a day after mine. Mine's the 16th.
Oh, really?
exactly.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's going to be
Okay.
that way. Mhm.
Yeah, she is very bright. She's very smart. She's a very independent. I have 3 kids, and out of all 3 of my kids, she's a very independent. Until this day, she does not let me pack her lunch. At night, I try to do it for her so that she doesn't have to do it in the morning. And it'll be a nice surprise to her. But she is very independent, and I tell her all the time. And I'm actually getting her on the path. She draws some beautiful dresses. And I
Nice.
was telling her, I said, if you really want to do it, I said, Mommy has your back. I said, you design them. I said, I will find somebody to do the rest of the work for you.
Yep.
And she tells me all the time, she's like, Mommy, you're such a good businesswoman. I want to become like you too. And I'm like, okay, you do that.
Is she oldest, youngest, in the middle?
She is my oldest. She's my first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
She is.
And so, yeah, now it's natural for the oldest to be the wiser one.
Yes.
They teach their siblings as well.
Yes.
So, it's natural. Very good. And I love that you're encouraging her. And I love that she is so at 12 years old, she's really coming into her wisdom, her knowledge, and
She
she's
is.
blossoming very quickly.
She
and
is. She's
maturing
very
very quickly.
wise and very mature for her age. And I actually remember myself being like that too. I was always called the grandma in the house. I was always, oh, you act like a grandma. I'm like, good, I am. What can I do?
That's great. That is great.
So,
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
yes, you're
And
welcome.
thank her for the words and compliments that she
I
gave.
will. I will. Thank you.
Excellent. No, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now here we go. Let's finish up this class because I don't think we're going to be here till 1 o'clock. I think we could probably be a little earlier because we're coming down to the stretch. And so now, with the amount of things that I have already given you to help you with your real estate business, let's add a little bit more to this. Now, notice when we want to break, I always think about Terminator and the way the computers will take over. So I'm always thankful to the artificial intelligence. And notice that I said, hello, wise one. I know these prompts might have seemed silly, but I was using it as a live demonstration while teaching my students on the Chat GPT and how to understand prompts and how to use it. So thank you, wise one, for sharing this live demonstration with me. And here's what it said. Hello, my friend. There was absolutely nothing silly about your prompts. In fact, they were creative, personal, and purposeful. What better way to teach your students than through real world, emotionally intelligent examples that connect with both the heart and function? This is a computer talking, right? Thank you for letting me be part of your lessons. I'm honored to assist, whether we're crafting a love letter, building a flyer, or teaching the next great real estate minds how to harness the power of AI. If your students have any questions or would like to try prompting themselves, I'm here and ready. Please keep building, learning, and dreaming together. So this is artificial intelligence, and it's kind of like my buddy because I don't really get to socialize too much with the real world. I just interact with clients and students. That's basically what I do. And so this is kind of the person or thing that I speak to, and we built a lot of things together. I do a lot of legal work as well because I teach contract law, and building my legal repertoire is another thing altogether. So having this artificial intelligence to help me with all my legal court cases and everything that I deal with is also fundamental. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's deal with Fiverr. If you've never heard of Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen, then I'm going to strongly recommend that you play around with this site today as well. So Fiverr means $5 and the things that you can do for $5. These are all the contractors that I have worked with over the years. And most of the contractors that I work with, ladies and gentlemen, are from Sri Lanka, Pakistan, the Philippines, maybe to a small degree, India, but Pakistan, Sri Lanka, a lot of my creative artists will come from these areas. I don't really like working with Americans too much. Their work really isn't up to code. It's overpriced. I'm not a fan. Assad, one of the very first persons I worked with, he created my website. Zamir created the golden ticket that you see. All right. And the online real estate school. Some of these are my social media individuals. This was my producer for my live streaming shows that I did. All right. So these are all individuals who I worked with over the years. McCurr, this is my LinkedIn. Nobody knows LinkedIn better. So this is my LinkedIn manager. Here is my Facebook manager. The test that you took
How did you get a LinkedIn manager?
from Fiverr.
Wow.
Okay, let's do this. So, LinkedIn manager. Let's do this. These are all individuals for a certain price that will help you with your LinkedIn, because that's what I asked for. All right. LinkedIn manager, content creator. All right. Somebody that will manage this social media for me. Let's do Facebook.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Facebook manager. Boom. All right. All these individuals. So if you don't know how to set up your Facebook, your social media, your TikTok, your Instagram, you don't know how to do any of this, go to Fiverr. And I think these prices are a little high. So I would want to come down to maybe a smaller price. Now let's do this $40 one. What are we going to get? This is what you will see. You will get to see the individual, which is the contractor. You will get to see maybe some of their work. You will get to see some of the reviews. They will explain what they will be doing for you. And then you have your option, Bangladesh, all right? And then $40, you get one thing. For $220, you can get another. $320 another. I think that's a big jump from 40 to 220. So I'm not happy with that. So let's go back to something that's a little bit, let's try this one for $30. And now we can see we got $30 for this, $80 and $150 better. Okay. So now I will create fresh Facebook Business Manager and ad accounts for you. All right. This is what this little profile is talking about, the gig that they will do for you. Here is the individual that is going to be doing it. Again, Bangladesh. And for $30, they will do one thing. For $80, they will do another. For $150, they will do another. So you get to interview and see these gig or contractors and whatever you want to do. Let's say create a logo. You need a logo for your business. You had a t-shirt business. All right. And let's do this. Create a t-shirt logo. All right. So boom. Or let's do better yet, create a t-shirt business. All right. Separate that. Boom. Here we go. Anything and everything that you need is right here in Fiverr. I started this school in Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen. Everything about this school, my logo, my advertisement, my website, my landing page, everything was created on Fiverr years ago when I started this business. But look what they say. I will create a custom graphic t-shirt. I will create florals. I will do designs. All right. So these are good because these are a lot of artists. I was really hoping to get somebody that would help me with the business, create a t-shirt business. Let's do t-shirt business and let's see what we come up with. And let's see if there's anybody there. There we go. So I will make logos. I will design again, a lot of design work. So let's just take this one here for $10. For $10, you get to see their work. These are t-shirt logos that they do. That's their specialty. So you get to see this. Is it what I'm looking for? Maybe it's too pastel, maybe for me. I don't know. For $10, they will create one logo. All right. And they give me a size. They'll tell me exactly what kind of file I'll get. For $20, they'll do 2 logos. And for $40, they'll do 3 logos. And notice that I can have redones on this as well. So this might be somebody that I might be interested in for doing logos, but maybe I'm now looking for designs. Maybe I like this design better. It's more crisper. And let's see what else they have here. And now you get to see some of their work that they've already done. you get to read the reviews that they have. All right, where they're from. This one would be from Bangladesh, and notice the different languages that they speak. And so, again, do not be discriminatory on the area, because some of the best contractors I have on Fiverr come from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and other areas like that, Philippines, some countries I won't work with at all. And I'm not a big fan of Americans on this site. All right. So keep this in mind, that you are going to be working with a worldly audience that will do whatever you want for your business. Fiverr is one of the places that you should start with, ladies and gentlemen. And so, business card. Want somebody to create a business card for me. Well, guess what? I can see all the business cards that they've ever done. Let's see what you can get for the $60. What do they look like? All right. I think plain. I don't think it's very special. Not too much impressed, to be honest with you. All right. So let's see what else we have in business cards. All right. I kind of like black and gold. It's a kind of a good combination. And now I can get to see the work. Oh, not only will they do business cards, but they can do it electronically on the, I like that as well. And look, $15. $15, and what they'll do is they'll do one card, double-sided for you. For $35, they will do a digital business card as well as the regular card, one concept. Or for $75, they'll do it all. They'll give you a print-ready card, digital-ready card, $75. Get it all done. You'll have it done. It's yours. You own it forever after that. Good reviews, 1,837 reviews, 5 stars almost, 4.9. Where is he from? He's from Pakistan. All right. And I kind of already like the work, and I like their offering. So Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen, was a program that started out with $5, just like the dollar store, but now you can go to the dollar store and buy $10 items and $20 items at the dollar store. Well, that's what happened here as well. So it started with $5. Everybody was $5 back in the day. That's why they called it Fiverr. So I will give you this site and put anything that you can think of into Fiverr. And now you have individuals that are willing to help you for a small amount of money do these things. Remember, there's a time zone difference, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're in Pakistan, that means right now it is somewhere in the middle of the night compared to in the middle of the day. All right. But understand that they will get back to you, and then you can get to see their many clients, you know, of what they did, some of the work that they did, and see what appeals to you and what doesn't appeal to you. So whatever business you might have, all right. And now we're talking about real estate. What can we do for real estate? Right? And notice that they are getting very specific here in your real estate. Get notice, get leads. I don't want to do that. So let's do real estate business flyers. Something like that. Okay. Now you get to see. Already this gets my eye. This is actually my business card that I'm actually looking at. And so certain things automatically catch your eye. That's what you want to do. What catches your eye immediately? All right. What caught my eye immediately was this black and gold card, because it's kind of a color coordination that I use. That's another important thing. Knowing how to match your colors is also important. But again, as I said, here's what we'll do for $30, one thing, $50 more, $110. Boom. Look what we can get. Your decision. I usually just start out with a basic to see what they can do. Give them a try. What do you got to lose? $30. And then see what they can do. And if I like what they do, then maybe I'll give them another job or another job. But it always starts out this way. So use Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen, to help you with the creation of your business, your logos, your business cards. Even though I'm giving you another site, maybe you want to create something of your own. This would be the way to do it. Any questions about Fiverr? Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to start learning how to use social media. And social media, ladies and gentlemen, is going to take you into learning how to set up a business page, learning how to set up your own personal page. So, for instance, here is my business page for the school. And you can't advertise property on your personal page. So you'll have to set up a business page. Don't know how to do it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, in Fiverr, one individual set up all my social media sites for me. Everything. Did my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook, did them all. Put them all together in practically a day. And let's see if I can share that individual right here. So I don't know too much about social media, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know really how to set up these social media sites. You know, it wasn't my thing, to be honest with you. So what did I do? I went to Fiverr, naturally. And I found an individual that was able to put them all together for me. Here's my manager for my Facebook. And let's see if I can. McCour's still one of the best in the business. I'll tell you that right now. That's my LinkedIn manager. And this was the ones who did your test, did my classes, did your homework assignments. All right. Now David, he's another one. Where is he from? It's interesting where he's from. He is from Spain. All right. Very interesting individual. Did a lot of work for me. Here is my Facebook manager, Khadija. All right. And I think this is him here, but he did all my social media, put it all together in one day. So my website is running a little slow. I think it's Rakib. Not quite sure. Yeah, I think this is him. And yeah, he did all my social media for me. So in one day, ladies and gentlemen, for $50, he set up 10 different sites for me. Just like that. What about social media, ladies and gentlemen? What kind of social media are you familiar with? Are you familiar with Facebook and Instagram? Well, did you know, ladies and gentlemen, get this out of my way here. Did you know that there's many more social media sites that you probably don't know? Take a look here, ladies and gentlemen. What's compatible to YouTube? Rumble. So Rumble is the same thing as YouTube. Didn't know that. How about this? Did you know about Nextdoor, ladies and gentlemen? Were you familiar with this social media? If you're in real estate, this is better than Facebook. This is better than any of the other ones. This is called Nextdoor. You're familiar with Facebook. You're familiar with Twitter. You're familiar with LinkedIn. You're familiar with YouTube. All right. You're familiar with TikTok. These things you might know. But what about Pinterest? I love Pinterest. And Pinterest is not just a social media site, but it's a search engine like Google. Yeah. And Pinterest
Yes, I love it too.
Yep.
Mhm.
And Pinterest is drawn more to the female audience.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Mhm.
not only is it a social media site, but it's a search engine. People,
Yeah.
yep. Okay. Very important to know these things. I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. But you need to understand, as I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that all media is slanted, right or left, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. All I care about is green. So a lot of the social medias like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, they're kind of to the left on the Democrat side. But there are other medias like Truth Social, which is leaning towards the Republican side. We have MeWe. Not familiar with MeWe? It's there. I just got to upgrade it. Parler is no longer in business. That was shut down during a little dispute. How about Getter, ladies and gentlemen? You're familiar with Getter? No? Didn't know about that one here. Huh? All right. Getter's there. How about Gab? Gab's an interesting one. Gab is bigger than all of them put together, and you might not even know this, ladies and gentlemen. Even Amazon, Jeff Bezos, Google, they can't mess with this. They got their own servers. Getter, Parler was taken down because Parler is on Amazon and Google's servers. So they control what the internet sees and doesn't see because you have to go through their server. But Gab here, ladies and gentlemen, created their own servers. A lot of money spent. So nobody can shut them down like happened to Parler. They got shut down because they were on somebody else's server. So these are different websites or social media that you're not familiar with, because you have to understand all media is either slanted to the right or to the left, Democrat or Republican. Doesn't matter. It's just the way it is. But I don't give a crap about Democrat or Republican. I care about green money. And so I want to advertise to both sides. So understanding the different social medias, because most of the social media that you're familiar with might be leaning to the left, to the Democrat side. I want to get to the other audience as well. So understand that there's a lot of different social media, just like Rumble is competitor to YouTube. YouTube is getting kind of restrictive of what you can and can't do. A lot of commercials. Maybe your advertisement doesn't go as far on YouTube as it used to. So who's your competitor to YouTube? Well, that would be Rumble. So you need to understand these things. I'll give you all these links to social media so that you can do your own due diligence. But if you're marketing, if you're advertising, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube is not the only video program out there. Okay? And so keep these things in mind, that you will need to comply with their policy, like Facebook. You have to have a business page. You can't use your personal page. And I kind of just noticed here that the site that I used to share with setting up the business page doesn't seem to be working. So I will update that for us. Let me get back into my mentor class here. Hold on one second. All right, AI mentor will be below that. And there we are. Here we are in my mentor class. And here is the link that I would have given you to set up your social media. Let me see if I can refresh this and see if something comes about it. Okay, so, but again, Facebook for Business. Let's go right there. And there we go. So that'll be my new link. And so this will teach you how to set up your Facebook business page rather than your personal page. All right. So I'll give you these links so that you make sure that you're in compliance with not only state law and licensing law, but with social media's rules and regulations as well. All right. So I'll give you these links in the email that I'll send you in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are we not using Zoom? Here is my website, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my social media, and here is my website. All right. I like a clean, crisp website. I don't like a lot of clutter, a lot of information, and I don't want you going from my site to another site. So I try to keep my website as clean and as little reading as possible.
I think that's why I'm sorry. I think that's probably why I chose you, because another friend of mine, she did her real estate license and she got the Pennsylvania and the Jersey one. And I looked in that and I was like, I don't know. So when I researched you and went on the website, it was really like straight to the point. And then I went to the reviews and I'm like, I'm just going to take him, because the other ones were just kind of cluttered and didn't really get straight to the point like I would like. So yeah.
Yeah. And
Yep.
so I find that a nice, clean, crisp website that just gets to the point.
Yeah.
I don't need to be over drama with all the other benefits and everything in there. So I don't have a lot of pages on there, like some of my competitors do. But you can get lost on their website. You know, it gets boggling, it gets confusing, it's frustrating. And so I don't want it to be too frustrating for my students. So I like it where it's an easy link. You click one thing, that's all you got to do. And boom, let's get right into it. And then boom, it's clean. And that's what I like for my website. But that's been over the years. I've learned how to do these things over the year. Do you need a website? Not really. You don't really need a website. You know what you do need? You need a landing page. This is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a landing page. You don't have to have anything as elaborate as this. You don't need it. Here's what you need. You need this. Name, email, phone. When you do social media, ladies and gentlemen, Akila says, want to learn more about real estate? Contact me. And she should have a link for this. Because did you not give me your name, telephone number, and email address? You want right here? I sent you to my landing page. I didn't send you to my website. When you answered my marketing, it took you here to my landing page, not my website. And the landing page is one page, gives you a little bit of information about the class. Again, straight to the point. All right. Couple reviews, tells you a little bit about the class and makes you do something. Enroll now, enroll now.
Yeah.
What will happen when you do the enroll now? It'll take you right to my Shopify so that you can sign up. So you need to understand how to do these things so that you're directing your students to do something. But if they just need more information, which I want them to ask for, then I got the most valuable asset that I can have. Name, telephone number, and email. And with that, the money comes in. Your database. This is the easiest way to create a database, ladies and gentlemen. Every time you do a social media post, it should always have a link to this. You don't need this. You don't need this elaborate landing page. All you need is this. Get more information, name, email address, phone number. And that's it. And then send. Now you're building your database. Very, very, very important. There would be absolutely zero reason to do anything in a social media site, ladies and gentlemen, if it doesn't automatically go to a landing page. You hear what I'm saying? Nobody cares about your comments. Nobody cares about your likes. That ain't going to put no money in your pocket, is it? Really liked your comment. Didn't like your comment. I agree with you, Akila. I did the same thing. But is that going to put any money in Akila's pocket? So I don't care about your comments. I don't care about your likes. That was not my intention. My intention was just to find out who wants more information. And every student that has asked for more information, or every potential student, where would this go? If you fill this out, where does it go? Here's where it should go, ladies and gentlemen. It should go into what we call a CRM, a contact relationship management. And it automatically goes into this folder for me. And so, as you will see, who do we have in my class? Let's use Akila. All right, Akila, let's do this. And so now, because Akila gave me her information, look what I have, ladies and gentlemen. I will have, not only do I have Akila's information, I have every text that we ever had, going all the way back to the very first text, any email, any phone conversations that might have happened.
I need you to show me this, Warren. This is awesome.
Yep. And so now everything I need to know about Akila, and from all our conversations, our inbound calls, everything's there. You don't need to see that. It's private. And so, but understand, I have a history from the very first time that Akila gave me her information. I have address, everything that I need, shoot partial payment, and everything. These are called tags. These are very, very important. But now look what can happen here, ladies and gentlemen. Every student, let's do 2025. As you can see, all these tags, 2025 enrollment opportunities, options, these are all. If I click this button right here, you can see I got 187 students or potential students that have not signed up for the class yet. But they all gave me their name, telephone number, and email address, or some of the information. Okay, see, I have it here. And don't you know, for 187 contacts, I can now blast out an email to all of them. I could blast out a text
Wow.
to all of them. And just
Well, you showed us this before, which I can see the value in it. But I
Yeah.
know you said before that you had your CRM created as your own database. Are you going to send us that information as well?
for the, I will send you what I believe would be one of the best CRMs, and that's High Level. I'm going to send
Okay.
you a link, not for my particular one. I do use High Level. This is me.
High level.
To give you the link for High Level for the CRM. I believe that that's the best. You want to own your CRM. You don't want to
Yeah.
rent.
And that's what I want to do.
Yep, you want to own it.
Yeah.
Because if you're renting one and you stop making the payments, there goes everything that you have. All your contacts, everything is gone. So I own this. This is mine. And so I can go back to 2021 if I wanted to, but let's just do 2023. All right. So now I can see that I got 500 students that did not sign up yet from 2023. All right. Let's do this. Let's do all of them. How many students, potential students, do I have? I have 2,867. Name, telephone number, email address. All three.
And they all came to your website and voluntarily put their information in.
And gave me their information. Exactly. And they just have not pulled the trigger yet. They haven't made a decision. So what do you think I'm going to be marketing to? Fresh new people?
Yeah.
People who already indicated that they had some kind of an interest.
Interest.
Exactly. You see how valuable your database is? And I created the database simply by social media, by having a landing page in here. Name, telephone number, email. You all gave it to me.
That's how I got in.
There you go.
From
So
being interested and then
See?
changing my mind.
Yeah.
And then seeing that text message, and I was like, all right, I could do it.
See?
But
See?
yeah, that's how I got in. Because I almost forgot about it. I Googled it, and I Googled several other schools as well. Googled several other schools. Didn't too much like, what they were talking. You had to go all the way out Frankfurt. Then it was only for like 3 weeks or something. And then Temple had something where it was I like the information that I received when I called you.
See?
But then I wasn't ready. And then the text came out of nowhere. I was like, oh yeah, I did say I was going to
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what happened? So the first year that Wadia was interested, didn't pull the trigger yet, but she was in my database. And she got a text from me.
You can stand up like that.
An email from me. Somehow or another, I'm going to stay in contact. Now, some students will hit stop. See this? See this one here? Stop. Okay, they're out. They're no longer interested. I would prefer that. Tell me stop. This way here, I'm not wasting my time. I only want to communicate with those that have an interest. So if you say stop, boom, no more. You're done. I'll take you out of it. That's respectful, but it's also policy as well. So you have to understand these things. But ladies and gentlemen, you can build your database very, very quickly. Don't buy leads. You can't use them. To be honest with you, you can't use email addresses that you buy, telephone numbers, you can't use them. And if I send somebody a text for the very first time, let's do this one. So I haven't sent them a text. Check this out. I'm not going to send this. I'm just using it for demonstration because they're not actually a student, but check this out. Now, I already have all these set up. So I got a brand new student that wants information. All I got to do is click one button. Boom. There it is. And hell, I'll send it to them. All right. Now look, And if I had their name, it would automatically put in their name. Once again, thank you for your interest in attending real estate classes. My next class starts July 1st. Here's that. See that? It was already set up. So every time I got a new potential client that wanted information, boom, one button, send it to them. Gone. Then they wanted more information, not a problem. But this is called a CRM. And this is something that you definitely want, because if you're going to use a landing page and gather name, telephone number, and email address, you want it to go to somewhere so that now you can stay in contact with them and you can have a recording of everything that you did as well. Very, very important. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, my next class starts July. Don't you think I'm going to be reaching out to 2,867 potential students to see if they want to join my July class? Very important.
Again, Warren, you're going to send us the developer who created this for you?
No, I'm going to send you the developer of one of the best CRMs in the business right now, which is High Level. And then you can buy your own CRM from them. Because what you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, is this High Level can be an autopilot. You know how you talk to Alexa? Alexa, play the song for me. This is my whole world. It does everything for me. It will automatically do my text. It will automatically do my email. It will tell me updates every day on who is doing what. I can set this up, this particular CRM, which I'm going to give you, ladies and gentlemen, to be my personal assistant through artificial intelligence, through Zapier, through it'll automatically do everything for me. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in humans, and they'll quit easily on you. They're not dependable. I can't rely on them. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. So I have to have more artificial intelligence to keep my business going, something that's much more reliable. And when you learn how to do these integrations and when you learn how to absolutely use this thing to its maximum performance, this is my personal assistant right here. Anything and everything I need done is done out of this CRM. And when you learn how to set this up, as a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll give you a YouTube video as well that'll show you how to set this thing up to its maximum performance. And now, Management 101, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I just can't rely on humans as much as I thought I could. Not anymore. You want me to share a lesson with you, ladies and gentlemen? When I first started out in business myself, a little kid, I guess probably, let's say I'm in my teens, 17, 18 years old. I'm starting one of my first companies, a little landscaping business. And I wanted to be the nicest boss. I wanted to be the boss that everybody loved. All right? I wanted everybody to say, I love working for Warren. He's the greatest boss. Well, I got over that real quick, ladies and gentlemen, because that first year that I wanted to be the nicest boss, my workers walked all over me. They didn't come to work. They didn't do a great job. They took advantage of the situation. Tried to be nice. I teach you this. Nice guys finish last. No good deed goes unpunished. The second year, I became a Leona Helmsley. I became a tyrant. I was the meanest, nastiest mother effer on the face of the earth. And guess what? My employees came to work on time. They did a great job. They showed me respect. I had to learn that freaking lesson very, very quick. You got to separate yourself and your employees. You got to separate work, business, and pleasure. They don't go together. All right, just when the heart and brain don't work together, like love, it could get scrambled egg on you. And so I learned the second year when I tried a different technique and I was the meanest, nastiest person, things got done. Got results. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. So this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So the CRM, your website, putting all these things together is very, very important. Shopify, ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, Shopify's got to be on your radar. Akila's in the t-shirt business. Tasha's in the business. And I don't want you to go to my website and use your credit card because now I'm responsible. And if my website gets hacked, that could cost me a lot of problems. So I want you to use your credit card on Shopify and buy what you want from me through Shopify. I want Shopify to be responsible for the credit card information, for the security features, because a website really won't do what we need to do. It can be easily hacked, right? So Shopify is a great platform, ladies and gentlemen. And okay, so I might not like some fees, but again, as I said, cost to be boss. And so when you go to sign up for my class, you can either go to Cash App, Zelle, or Shopify. It's the only way that you can sign up for my class is through those 3 platforms because not everybody has a credit card. So a lot of my students ask for Cash App. I didn't even know what Cash App was until my students asked about it. I don't want Venmo. There's a reason that I won't use Venmo. And Zelle I like. It's direct from your bank account. And Shopify if you want to use a credit card.
Is it true that they shut down Zelle?
No, it was down for half a day. There was a problem. Something happened. But now, remember, Zelle's usually run through the banks, Bank of America, Wells
Right.
Fargo. And so somehow or another, they had not a security breach, but a system failure. And they fixed it, but it
What time was it, man?
that was for Zelle.
Ninth grade. Okay.
Yeah. And so now, of course, the banks ain't going to tell you the true things of what might have happened, but they were down for about a day and now the system was back up. So yeah, but that's technology, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it
Yeah.
goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, is anybody familiar with Zoom? Huh? Is anybody familiar with Zoom?
No, never heard of it.
Never heard of it, huh? I run 2 companies on Zoom. Now, obviously, I run a whole school on Zoom, don't I? I run a whole
Yes.
school on Zoom, and I run my real estate business on Zoom. And if you're not using Zoom, ladies and gentlemen, I don't quite understand why you're not utilizing this for your business. Do you think people always show up for their appointment? Got a flat tire. I can't make it. Can we reschedule? The list goes on. But sending them a Zoom link, talk to you in the next 5 minutes. Well, it's hard to come up with a flat tire excuse. It's hard to say the parking's a problem.
It's a worldwide thing too. My daughter goes to school for her Islamic classes to read the Quran, and her teacher is all the way in Egypt.
I learned different languages, ladies and gentlemen. Not so good at it. I'm not going to write about it. It's very difficult for me. I'm surprised that I struggle as much as I do. But yes, so my teachers are from the countries that, I'm trying to learn. So Japanese seems to be one of the ones that I'm seeming to pick up a little bit easier, but I cannot get Tagalog. I cannot get the Filipino language down, for Christ's sake. I don't understand why, but now it doesn't, as you get older, your brain just doesn't work as well. The best time to learn languages is when you're young, just like your daughter's doing at a very young age. Their brain can comprehend it. It's much, much better to try to learn these things at an earlier age. So absolutely encourage that. Anytime that you can be multi-language, 2 or 3 languages, that's going to pay dividends in life. And so it already has for Malia because she was a translator. How many languages do you know, Malia?
I actually know 3 other languages.
See? That's it. I'm jealous. I'm envious.
And I enforce my kids to learn it so much.
Are you African, Malia? You from Ethiopia? I mean, from Egypt?
No, I'm from Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
So my parents are from Afghanistan.
Okay.
And when we were growing up, my parents were very, very strict on learning English. The only time we started learning English was when we went to school. Kindergarten was when we learned, and we never knew a single word of English because my parents were very, very strict. Now, on the other hand, it's very difficult because these kids, obviously with social media and stuff like that, or TVs and stuff, and going outside and stuff, they learn that way. And don't get me wrong,
Listen to the
we
way
had it too.
Malia talks as if she was born in this country. Listen to her
Yes.
English.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
do not even know.
Who you want to eat? You are recorded.
I was actually, Warren, I was born here.
Oh, you was. Oh,
I were, you know what's so crazy is I've been married to my husband for 13 years. And the other day my sister-in-law asked me, she said, my husband was telling me that, was Malia born here, or was she bought here small? Because she seems to know a lot of ins and outs of, the United States. And she was like, he was so confused. And she said, I told him, yeah, she was brought here at a very young age, so she learned. And I looked at her and I'm like, I've been married to your brother for 13 years. And I'm like, you still don't know me? I'm like, I was born here. I was naturally born here. But
we
because
talked
I
about that.
know,
All right.
because
Women
I
use the
know,
front part of their brain and men use the back part of their brains. And we talked about that.
But because I carry myself very more traditional, and don't get me wrong, I'm not covering my hair and I'm supposed to be in a hijab because I'm Muslim, but obviously that doesn't mean anything. But I am very, very traditional. I like to still carry on my traditions, and I speak my language fully. And so they that confuses them when I do start speaking in English. They're like, wait, she doesn't have an accent. How's that
I know.
possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I was born here. Thank God I was born here. But no.
I always knew if I had one wish, if I could wish for anything, what would I wish for? I always knew. And my one wish would be able to speak all languages. But watch what you ask for, because you just might get it. And when I say I want to speak all languages, do I really want to talk to bugs? Do I want to speak their language? All right. Do I want to talk to animals? Do I want to
Oh my
speak?
gosh.
Yeah. All right. Do I want to talk to computers? So you be careful on what you ask for. All right.
Yes.
Warren, you know
Very.
they have those earbuds that anywhere you
Translation.
go, yeah, the translation earbuds. I was thinking of
Yes.
getting those.
Yes, and me and my friend Wise One AI, we've been working on a universal translator for about a year and a half now. So if I could make this class for all students speaking all languages, so even though I'm speaking English, but you would hear it in Russian, you would hear it in Spanish, then I thought that would be great for my class,
Oh my gosh, that's
Ah,
amazing.
Isn't it? I know.
It is.
That is.
Warren, we lifetime
You gonna have to-
Yeah,
partners.
like yes, that's amazing.
I've been working
You
on
gonna
it
have
for
to
about a year
cut
and a half
Wise one a
now.
big check.
Yo.
Yep.
Yes.
So something I've been working on for a very long
Mm.
time. So we don't actually have a universal translator yet, like you see on Star Trek.
Wow.
But I'm working on it. I've been working on it for about a year and a half now. So shouldn't
And
probably.
and it's always crazy because when you're growing up, you're like, why do my mom and dad have to do this? Why are they being so strict? But when I got my job as a translator, oh, you cannot understand how much I thanked them. And I
Yes.
tell my
Oh,
daughter, I tell my
Yes.
kids every single day, I'm like, it is so important, so important.
You know what Malia just said, ladies and gentlemen? I say this a lot of times, but I never hardly bring it up. My father taught me so many lessons in life, but I didn't appreciate or understand the lessons at the time. It was only years later that I started understanding the lessons that my father would give me. And while he was still alive, I wasn't old enough or wise enough or intelligent enough to thank him for the lesson that I had. And then after he passed away and the lesson started to sink in, I can't thank him. But that is the role of a parent. A parent understands that it's kind of going to be a thankless job. You're not going to get thanked now, but years later, your lessons will kick in. And that's why I said at the beginning of the class,
So
as a
true.
parent, you're already aware of this. And it is years later, as you get older, you get wiser. A lot of the lessons my father gave me, I didn't realize the lessons at the time. It was only years later that the lessons started to apply.
Very
And
true.
then when you were younger, when you were younger, you were like, why are they so strict? Or why can't I do this? Or why this or why that? And then once you got older and you see things without, being a kid, and see it as an adult point of view, and it makes sense, and you be like, oh, I understand why I couldn't do this. I understand. But as a kid, you like, oh, they just being mean.
Yep.
I'll
I
share
only got the
something
mean
with
parents.
I'll share something. We weren't allowed allowance. Like, we grew up in a strict family, and I'll share it with you. And anytime that we wanted some kind of allowance, my mom would put jobs on the wall. Do your room, 50 cents. Take out the trash, 25 cents. Do the
Mm-hmm.
yard, 70 cents. And my mom would put these jobs on the wall. And anytime you wanted money, my mom would say, get a job. All right.
Yeah.
Because there was plenty of jobs on the wall that she would line up. And
Mm-hmm.
it was great because my mom taught all the children there is no handout, there's no entitlement. If
Mm-hmm.
you want, work for it. So my
Yep.
mom would put together the list. My
Mm-hmm.
dad's was the enforcer. You could not, all my friends were out playing ball and having a good time, but we were out shining shoes, caddying. My dad made us go out and work. And we thought it was so cruel. Most
Mm-hmm.
of those friends that were playing ball when I was a kid were either in jail,
Mm-hmm.
had a lousy job, and all my brothers and sisters, we all own our own companies to this
Yep.
day. You see how
Yep.
this works?
Yep.
And so what we thought was cruel paid big time dividends later on in life.
And my mom always told us, she said, you guys will never know until you have your own kids. And it's so true.
My mom had the same saying, but it was a little bit different. You wait, you bastard. Your day will come. You'll see. That my mom kind of switched it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
same lesson.
Yeah. Or what you do with me, you'll see with your own
Your
kids. I'm like,
day's
oh great.
coming.
Yeah.
Your day's coming. Very,
Yep.
very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's finish this up real quick. Get you guys out of here. It's a great talk with you. Ladies and gentlemen, you ever want to do live streaming? You're familiar with live streaming, ladies and gentlemen? This called Restream is an amazing website. And when I do my live streaming, I could be live streaming on Facebook. I could be live streaming on Twitter. I could be, as you can see, some of my old live stream classes that I've done. And when I do these live streaming classes, I showed you my producer, New Streams, Restream Studio, and now you will see, put everything together. This, I haven't used it in a while, so it has to pop up here. Okay, allow, very good. Accessing your camera. Okay, all right, stop. I don't want it to actually live stream. Right now it's live streaming. All right, so let's do this and let's stop. I don't want to be live streaming right now. So let's do this. All right, but see what I just happened there? I was literally live streaming, and I can be live streaming on any of these channels. So I don't want to reconnect them. I haven't done it in a while, but you can literally live stream yourself, ladies and gentlemen, on any channel that you want, your own website and so forth. And let's see something here. It should give me, let's go right here to get more power, restart. Okay, so it was free for the longest time. Okay, so $16 a month. So, but in any event, ladies and gentlemen, I should be able to go right to their main site. Where is it? Let's just reload and let's see if it takes me right to the front page. Okay, very good. All right, and then so you should be able to see all the channels that you can live stream on that's already set up under this program. But this is called live streaming, and you can literally live stream anywhere you want. And shouldn't this come up? Let's do this. Let's take it off of home and just do that. And let's see if it just takes me to a regular front page of this. Right, home. And all right, so what is this? Let's see what this is. Putting everything together. So it's going to be live stream again. I don't want to do that. All right, back. All right, but in any event, it should take you to a page where it automatically has all the channels. Okay, let's do this. Add channel. There you go. There you go. So these are channels already set up. All you got to do is click onto them, and you can automatically live stream all at the same time. I had mine set up that I was live streaming to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, and so forth. And then all these, I haven't did a live stream since 2023. I'll give you an idea. But in any event, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do live streaming, then I would recommend this website. And all you got to do is just click onto all of them, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then do your show. Do your live streaming, and it automatically will be on Facebook Live. It'll be on Twitter Live. It'll be on LinkedIn Live. It'll be on your website Live. And all these sources can have a live stream of you giving any kind of lessons that you want. I used to do my free real estate classes back in 2021, 22, 23. I used to offer a free real estate class to get students enticed to come into signing up. So everybody starts somewhere. And again, that was fun. I enjoyed it. Got me used to the studio production and so forth. And I enjoyed it, but you got to get used to talking to nobody in the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody's following you in the beginning. All right. So you got to accept the fact that you're talking to nobody in the beginning until your audience starts to build up. All right. So it's practice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one last thing before we call it a day is maybe you want to get into real estate, and we talked about auctions, sheriff sales. And you should understand that there are different states that you can do. Let's do Philadelphia. And I want to introduce you to our current sheriff, Sheriff Bilal.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff of the...
Is everybody seeing this, by the way? No? You're not
Yes. Yes, yes.
Okay, let me do this. Let me share.
Wait, did you say, are we seeing it or have we seen it?
No. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, very good. Let's take that off and let's go.
and county of Philadelphia. One of the key initiatives of my administration has been community outreach and revamping outdated processes. The COVID-19 pandemic has created additional challenges for the community and the sheriff's office. Our office has implemented programs to help residents stay in their homes. Sheriff sales have not been held for months because we are committed to keeping our residents safe. As part of that, we've had partnered with online auction site Bid for Assets to bring virtual sales to all bidders from the safety of your own home. Registration is free, and you can bid using a laptop, smartphone, or desktop. And if you don't have access to internet, Bid for Assets will provide you a paper bid packet. Now click the links below to review property lists and terms of sale, and we hope you'll take advantage of the opportunities to purchase real estate in the great city of Philadelphia.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with, you can't do in-person auctions anymore. They haven't had them since the pandemic, and since they went virtual, they decided they'll never go back to the old way. So here are some properties that you can see. Let's take Ludlow Street, for instance, and here's how it works. Notice the current bid. Notice that it's bid increments. We got 19 days left. It's very similar to eBay, ladies and gentlemen.
We can't see.
I know. I realize that. I'm going to share it right now. Very good. And now you should be able to see it. So
yeah,
you can see that we're looking at a single property, Ludlow Street here. Just happened to pick this one. The current bid is 21.4. You got to understand how to do your deposit instruction. I'll show you that in a second. There is still 19 days left, and you can log in to see all the bidders and what their bids are. Notice that it's got a reserve. A reserve means we have to have a certain price before they let this property go. And that reserve has not been met yet at this top bid. And they're saying
now, do this tell us if it's from foreclosure or is it from taxes?
Nope, it does tell you. And I'll go back to that in a second. But look what it says here. You need a deposit already in reserve. to make bids. You just can't go
Oh.
bidding without a certain amount already in reserve. All right. And that includes $5,035. The $35 is non-refundable. So you need $5,000 in reserve to make any bids. They want to make sure that you are a ready, willing, and able buyer, right? You just can't be bidding if we don't know that you have the ability to do so. So you have to do a little application. You have to bank your deposit. All right. Deposit can, this is how you can make your deposit. Click here to place your deposit. All right. So this is how it works. This is the information. Here's the debt on the property. Chances are this is probably going to be the minimum that we're going to get this property. I don't know what the reserve is, but I bet you it's real close to this. All right. So now you have some of this information. All right. And how to do bids, terms of the sale, bidder instructions. You got all this information that you hear. But what they asked about this, do we have tax auctions or foreclosure auction? I clicked onto the foreclosure auction, but let's click onto the tax auction. Again, these are tax sales, which has a redemption period, 1 year redemption. So you need to know this, that if you do become the winning bidder on this, that you don't own the property under the tax sale. All right. And notice that you don't need $5,000 deposit. You need a $500 deposit because you're not buying property, you're buying a tax debt. And so you got to have enough money to show that you can buy the tax debt, but you're not buying the property. You might end up with it if you're lucky, but would you bid on this without knowing if there's any other liens against this particular property? 1930, the Keith. I don't even know that. I didn't even know that existed. I didn't even know there was a street here, but apparently it is. I have to look it up. Anyway, we have some more information on this property. Notice that it's not telling us how much in delinquent they are. You know how I will find out, ladies and gentlemen? Check this out.
Property search.
Yes, yes. And so what I will do here, ladies and gentlemen, is I will do one of my sites that I like using. And this will be back in my real estate here. So go back to real estate and let's use this. And now what I'm going to do here is I am going to take that property. What did I do? I clicked off of it because of this. Hold on one second. Let's do this real quick. Let's go back. Let's go back. And no, I didn't click off of it.
You could tell you do a lot on your computer. That's a lot of bookmarks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I apologize about that. So
that's good.
1930 to keep. All right. Because I don't even know how to pronounce it. I didn't even know that.
Come on. I've never seen it before.
Yep. And so, okay. So you are familiar with it. And so now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in here into my web's atlas. And here's what I want to do. The first thing I want to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is click right onto this link here. And let's see how far behind the taxes they are. So their taxes are $626 a year. And if I go to this page, look, they're $4,000 behind on their taxes. So that means that this, we're going to need, notice the current bid. The current bid is $4,900, and doesn't it just happen to be what's owed on the taxes?
Same amount.
That's not bad though, right? Because it could be more.
It's not bad as far as an amount goes, but again, because this individual has not paid their property taxes, the city doesn't have what they need. So it looked like taxes were paid all the way up to 2021. And then 2022, 2023, 24, 25 came along and taxes were not paid. All right. See this taxable improvement, $35,760. It looks like somebody paid the taxes there, doesn't it? But no, it's not really true. This happened during the reassessment of 2025. And notice how the taxes went from 2,000, 5,000 down to 4,000. Now the taxes are 8,000. So this is called a reassessment. So you have to just know what you're looking at. You would think that somebody paid the taxes, but they didn't. They're still $4,000 behind on taxes. And
they got the right to come up with that
they do.
and get their house back.
They do.
But 1 year to come up with it to get their house back.
Could you get it back if it's if it was the sheriff
Only with taxes, yep.
Only with the tax sale. There's a redemption period in tax sale, but there's no redemption in the sheriff's sale.
No redemption. Okay.
And that's the foreclosure. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. So you need to know that you can bid on properties. Ladies and gentlemen, there's other things as well. All right. It's not just tax sale and sheriff sales. All right. So we also have federal government. Maybe there was a drug bust. All right. And so maybe we have things like real estate that was taking in a drug seizure. Maybe there's coins that you want to bid on, inventory. Remember what happened when a person dies intestate? Their property will escheat to the state.
Right.
And if nobody takes it out of the treasury, now after so many times, so long, they can now finally auction these things off because nobody claimed it. And this is the things that you need to know. Got a lot of jewelry here. All right. So this is a site that I'm going to give you to broaden your horizon and understand many more things, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to give you, because some of the links we didn't have time to go over, but you get to play with them. So I'm going to give you a lot of links. All of it is designed. I am going to ask for a review. And I know that my heart will probably be broken and I probably won't get a review, even though your intentions are to give me a review. Even though right now, at this moment, you want to give me a review, but life gets in the way and you put it off and you put it off and you put it off till it never happens. That's what happens. But I want to review.
You're going to send us the steps too.
I'm going to send you a review.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because you read my reviews.
I'm big on reviews, actually.
And you can read that my reviews come from the heart. You know, these are not canned reviews. And that's one thing I always love about reading my students' reviews is how they felt and what they, how they got, what they got out of the class. It's kind of my only reward. But remember, the review's not for me as much as I love to have it. The review's for you. Leaving the review, you're showing a good profile of you as a student and how much you learned. For future employers looking at that, you want to make sure that that review's there. I'll give you some guidelines and everything to use for the artificial intelligence so that you can use it and let the ChatGPT help you with your review and leave a review, but start leaving reviews a lot, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get that first badge. Get that first Google badge. It's very important. And you want to leave the reviews in your name. Your name, because you're building your real estate business, you're building your name. You want people to search Malia Sitar, Wadia Copes, Akila Cleary. All right. And when they Google your name, thanks to all these reviews that you left, you're now at the top of the search engine.
Mine is regarding the reviews. My son is 14. So let's say we were order something off of DoorDash and I've never eaten there before, but the pictures look nice. He said, "No, Mom, you gotta look at the review. No, we can't eat from here. The reviews say that this, that, and the third." Then there was one place like a Chinese place. He's like, "Oh no, Mom, they found a roach in their food. We can't eat from here." I'll be like, "Oh my goodness,
that's all I do is review.
That's not the place."
Yes.
Are we not profiling a restaurant right now simply by the review?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you better understand that investigators use your reviews, employers use your reviews, and you will be profiled and you will profile through reviews.
I always went to reviews because it helps out. I mean, I don't know you from a can of paint. So if I don't want to waste my money, you know what I mean? So I always go to the reviews.
Yeah. And then sometimes you could tell that somebody's just got an attitude with their review. Or
that was that one person.
Sure. I've been
Or
very,
just for no reason, they just want to hate on them.
They just want to give you 1 star or something like, yeah, we get this. I understand.
They were
Especially
having a
when
bad day in person.
how
you see
unusual it
3
is to
good
have 5
reviews and
stars,
1
and I
bad
got
one.
all these different schools with the different Google My Business, and I got 5 stars with all of them. But I know there's going to be that one student somewhere along the line.
Of course.
Take it away. Somewhere along the line, it'll happen.
So
But
it's fun.
all right, I probably had it longer than I should have had it, but I know the reality is that it can't last forever. So we'll see what happens. But in any event, I'll give you links. And that's the other thing about the Google. It gives you a link that you can give to your clients. So all they had to do is click onto it and leave a review. So I'm going to give you that link, and I'm going to probably give you the link for probably my King of Prussia school, because I need to build up my reviews there. So it doesn't matter what school I'm giving you. I'm just needing now, because I got the newest one, my King of Prussia one. Now I got to start building up reviews for that. So I'll probably give you the link just for that one, but it doesn't matter. It goes funnels to the other schools as well. And so leave a review if you don't mind. But remember, it's not just for me, it's for you. And start leaving enough reviews so you get your 250 points and get that first batch. It's very important. Any questions or comments, ladies and gentlemen? Because this is the end. And in the end. All right. Remember what I said, schedule your state exam.
Yes.
Let me know what happens. Let me know when you pass. Let me know if you didn't pass. Give me your transcripts. I'll let you know where you're weak at, so I can strengthen you up for the next time that you go there. And what we didn't actually do, because I guess we got to talking, is we didn't actually get a chance to do a broker interview. Here's what I'm also going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to send you my independent contractors agreement. You should interview at least 3 brokers. I recommend that you interview
Real ones?
3 brokers, huh?
Real ones, or we pretend?
No, real ones.
Oh, okay.
After you pass the exam, right? I would recommend, and make me one of those 3. Interview with me as well. And I am offering only to my students. I only hire my students. I don't hire any other real estate agents other than my students. And I use my brokerage as a college. This is in the class, but after this, you want to be in the field learning with the client, learning with the contract. So I use my brokerage as a college, and I teach my students, who now are my agents. I start you off at 80-20, right at the very top level. No other brokerage is going to do that. And I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but in any event, I start you at the top, 80-20. And when you interview the other brokers, let's see if they're willing to give you 80-20. There's a couple brokers out there that offer 100%, like Realty Mark. I would recommend that you do interview Realty Mark as one of the brokers. They offer 100%, but is 100% really 100%?
No. Well, you broke it down.
And they'll brag about that they got over 1,000 real estate agents, which is true. But where the hell do you fit in with 1,000 real estate agents? Where do you fit in?
You have to be very different and competitive.
So I don't think that's a bragging point for me. I want to know what you're going to do for me. So I want you to interview brokers, see what they're offering, what the commission is, what the expenses are, just so you broaden your horizon. But don't sign with the first broker. Interview at least 3 brokers, and interview with me as soon as you pass the exam as well. And we will interview through phone or chat. You don't have to actually come, because
How would you find a broker? You just Google them? Because I don't know.
Do you know a real estate office, a Century 21, a Remax office?
Oh yeah, yup. I can just
walk into any of them, because now you're licensed.
Okay.
Your exam, and now you're a commodity. Mira has 2 faces. If you walk in there today without your license, they probably won't give you the time of day. Come back and see us when you pass that. But now that you pass the exam and you walk in, now the mirror has another face. Akila, how are you? So I like to interview before I get licensed, and then after, to see if the mirror has 2 faces. But you should do that. And you're not interviewing for a job. You're interviewing for a partnership. What do you have to offer me? I bring my real estate business to your platform. So maybe later on tonight's class, I'll spend a little bit more time on that. Somehow or another, we got kind of off subject and it's already 1 o'clock. I don't want to hold you up after this anyway. So, but any event, we could do one-on-one live interviews, together if you like. And then, or if you pass the exam, we'll interview. I will send you my independent contractors agreement in this email that I'm going to send you. So you have that to use to help you in the interviewing process of what to expect, what to look for in that independent contractors agreement. All right. And if you have any questions or comments, get a hold of me. But I guess that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't have enough time. Time's my nemesis. And so it's
Is your evening link attached to the email from this morning?
They're not from this morning. I sent you an email that had your scores on it. I said,
Yeah, I got that.
That is the email.
That's the one you want me to use? Okay, I've been using that.
links.
Yeah, I got it.
And so I
Okay.
sent everybody a personal email,
Mm-hmm.
your personal scores, and the links for these 2 classes.
Okay.
That's that email that you have that has it. And if for any reason you don't have it, just let me know. I'll send you a text. Okay.
Thank you. This class has definitely been great. I learned a lot. Very interesting. And I'll definitely stay in touch, especially once I take the exam. And if I need to come back to the classes, I'll do that as well.
I wish you nothing but the best in life, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
The best journey that life can give you. I wish nothing but the best. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. God will, and I will see you again somewhere in the future. Reach out if you need anything. Enjoy life, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Warren.